What's good, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to the 2021 D.I.C.E Awards from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. Britt and I are here with our fancy necklaces.
I broke one right before this went live. I hulked it. I don't know what happened. It just busted. So I had to, grab another one.
But you've got superhuman strength right now.
I think I do. I got something going on. Girl, I could go for a mimosa.
Oh,
Can we just talk about that for a minute?
Yes, I might have to make one of my mock mimosas that I've been indulging in these last few months. So if you've seen me with a mimosa on camera, it's been a ruse, which we explained during the anniversary stream. Hey, Fahrenheit, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much, Danny, for continuing your sub. Yippee, a baker's dozen. 13 months indeed. Brent, thank you so much for your sub. What's good, Fandan? Hey, Erkskirk, you made it just in time. You guys are a few minutes early. We got about 12 minutes to go before the stream starts. Before we get going, I wanted to say a huge shout out to friends of the show, Jessica Chobot, Greg Miller, and Khalif Adams.
Oh my God.
Who are going to be the trifecta of hosts for the
great lineup.
I know, they're great.
Love that.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do different in regards to format, because Megan Scavio, the president of the Academy, had been tweeting about how she's really excited about all the changes they made in the format this year because of the virtual presentation. So, because normally, Britt, you were there last meeting when we were matching in our sequin outfits. They get it done. They just go through those awards. Toot sweet.
Do you think we're going to get acceptance speeches?
That's a good question.
Or is it all going to be surprise?
I imagine we're going to get some. It would be a weird award show if they didn't allow acceptance speeches. So I hope so, but I don't know if they're going to be live acceptance speeches.
Yeah, I think it's all pre-recorded, which makes sense. Live production's very hard, friends.
Yes. As we saw by some of the award shows that happened during the pandemic, some of them were done very well, like the Emmys, I thought were done really well. And then some of them stumbled a little bit.
They sucked. I appreciate you being kind, but let's call it for what it is.
Yeah. The SAG Award. No, it wasn't the SAG Awards. It was the Golden Globes recently that I was kind of like, ooh, you guys got to get your shit together.
I was just going through the nominee list and I was like, God, 2020 kind of feels like forever ago. I guess we're almost 5 months into 2021.
It does. Before you go into the nominees, I just want to say thank you, Excess Oddities, for your 12-month sub. Hello, indeed. And thank you, MakeMe.org, for the bits. We appreciate all the support, everybody. Glad to see some more familiar faces joining us in the chat. Nanobiologist is Ghost of Tsushima. Every award.
Yes.
I mean, what a fantastic game. But I feel like they're going to be the Spider-Man of this year's award show. And they're just going to get edged out. Because I remember at D.I.C.E, I think it was 2019 or 2018, when PS4 Spider-Man was nominated. And it just got crushed. It just did not win anything. Because that was also the same year Red Dead Redemption was up for a lot of awards. And God of War.
God of War. Yeah. See, Nanobiologist says, Danny Justin says, so Britt can make the noise if Ghost of Tsushima wins. If that's what you're talking about, I'll grunt. I'm always down to grunt. Let's do some grunting together. Okay, so some of these are kind of fun. So outstanding achievement in animation. Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us Part 2, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. So maybe Spider-Man can kind of redeem themselves here. Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Spiritfarer. It's gonna be a good one. And what I love about these is that they're peer voted, which also makes it funny that Untitled Goose Game won last year, Game of the Year.
Britt was at the table with me, and maybe I'd had one too many tequilas or whiskeys. I don't know. I was mad. I was upset when they announced that Untitled Goose Game won Game of the Year. I was just like, how do you have all of these other nominees that clearly did so much more when it comes to innovation and design and overall gameplay design, and had so much more happening, and then you pick Goose Game? I'm not saying that game didn't deserve some love. Of course it did. It was a game that took a lot of people, I don't want to say by storm, but it was like one of those trending games. We talked about that when we streamed for the Game Awards last fall last December about how we wish there was a trending game award for games like Among Us that, obviously from a gameplay design perspective aren't lighting the world on fire, but clearly a ton of people around the world played that game.
Yeah, It was a breath of fresh air at the time. It was something wholesome and cute. Little did we know the shitstorm that was about to face us in the rest of that year. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Is there a best butt award? Asks Groovy Moose. There is in the What's Good Games Awards. I don't think in this award category, in this award show. I am sorry. But then we get to Game of the Year, and this is always the fun one. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. Is there one there, Andrea, that you're just like, I want this one to win?
I am surprisingly rooting for Final Fantasy VII Remake because that game really impacted me in a way that I never thought possible, and I thought that game was so well done. Love the animation, love the combat design in particular in that game. I thought that they just did so many things right. But I mean, we know that Tilu is going to sweep. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's obviously the one. I would be happy with Final Fantasy VII Remake or Ghost of Tsushima. Obviously, Jin's fine ass is in there. But, let's see. Let's see what the multiplayer category is. Or is there not one?
I also really enjoyed my time with Ghost of Tsushima, but there was still some problems I had with that game, and I felt like they took a lot of gameplay systems like straight from other games, which is not bad. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there was just a lot in that game that I would have liked to see polished up a bit for a GOTY winner.
So, online game of the year, you have Animal Crossing New Horizons, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
I'm mad
Fall
about
Guys.
that.
I know you are. That's why I brought it up. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. I'm not trying to get your blood pressure up. Sorry. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Ghost of Tsushima, and Tetris Effect Connected. Now, I always bring this one up because I love the Andrea rants when it comes to Animal Crossing and their online functionality. Sit back, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back.
Anybody who's you've played Animal Crossing. Anybody who's played Animal Crossing will be like, what do you mean this game is nominated for multiplayer? The multiplayer sucks in that game. There's no denying that it brought people together during the pandemic, but if the pandemic hadn't happened, do we think that anybody would be talking about Animal Crossing from a multiplayer perspective? Sure, that game is great for a lot of other reasons, but multiplayer?
It's real bad. I think it's still pretty bad, isn't it? I don't think it's been fixed.
No, they've been doing a good job with making some consistent updates in that game for sure, but multiplayer still is super broke. It's
actually interesting too that you see Ghost of Tsushima in here. I just kind of realized what I read, but granted, that online mode for being the free DLC that it is fantastic.
Legends? Yeah.
It's really, really good, but I could see this going to Fall Guys too.
I think Fall Guys is definitely a front runner because that was another one of those kind of very trending games, and that game is a ton of fun. And I think that not only did Mediatonic do a great job with making that game accessible and very family friendly, but I mean we saw tons of people rallying their friend groups and getting together to play that game. And then when they opened up the private servers, the private games, I think that took it to a whole new level. And that's what's one of the good things about DICE being a little bit later in the year. Now, normally it's not this late in the year. It's back in February. But it allows people to actually have some time through the end of the previous year to play games and to see some of these additional modes. Like the Ghost of Tsushima Legends mode didn't come out until the fall. And maybe people wouldn't have had enough time with it if they had to vote in November versus in January.
Word, word, word. I was actually just looking at this tweet that your husband put out. So Andrea on Twitter Friends put out this photo of us saying that we put on fancy necklaces and shirts. Well, we always put on shirts anyway.
Yes.
And then he posted a photo of us at the DICE stage last year and said, what a difference 2 years makes. It's oh man, on so many levels. But here we are.
I don't know. I think we still look pretty good.
I think he was talking more about we're not on stage.
It's true. We're not on stage, and we both have humans inside of us now, which is which is different.
Yeah.
He was like, "Can you imagine if you had to go to Vegas right now? How sad you would be because you'd be sober and everybody else would be drunk." And I was like, "Yes, I would be so sad."
It would be the worst. Oh my god, it would be the. Oh yeah, I know. So is Vegas on one of your top places to go back to once everyone's fully vaccinated? And no, not everyone's gonna be fully vaccinated. Let's be real. There's some weird ass
a lot of dummies out there.
Yeah, but is that like one of your top places that you want to go back to?
Yes, 100%. You and I talked about this. You and Jason also love Vegas like I do, and
Yeah.
we definitely have to meet up there and just, call in the
Not remember
grandmas or
anything.
somebody to like watch the babies while we go out and have a bender. It'll be great. Nanobiologist, I see your comment. Not to argue, but if you're dinging Animal Crossing for bad online, you need to ding Fall Guys too, because that was almost unplayable for the first weeks of launch. Hold up there, sir.
Uh-oh.
A game having multiplayer issues at launch, which they all do, is way different than a game being a year beyond launch and still having the same multiplayer issues. And having server problems and connectivity issues is not the same as just having a fundamentally broken online infrastructure system. All right? Don't come at me, Nano. Don't come at me, Nano.
Especially not right now. Trust me. Our emotions are all over the place. It's hard to control ourselves. Just be kind.
I've got hormones, okay?
Oh, we got so many hormones. So many. Oh my God. Well, we're counting down the time, baby girl. It's almost time.
Yeah, so I can head on over here to our little watch along screen. It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited.
Gonna be good. Are you watching on Twitch?
I am watching on IGN.com because that is
okay.
their official streaming partner.
Well, because I was like 30 seconds ahead of you, and there we go. Now we're perfectly in sync. Look at that.
All right.
Good job, everyone. We did it.
You're forgiven, Nano. Apology accepted. Oh my gosh, Arcstar, blink twice if you have a preview copy of RE8. I saw everybody talking about Returnal yesterday, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, dang. I didn't get my copy of Returnal. Sad. Sad for me.
Neither did I. I heard the DualSense does some pretty cool things with that game. Like raindrops. It was Blessing's tweet that I saw.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. But as most of our, people watching here along with us know, Britt and I aren't super into roguelikes. And that part of the game, it makes me a little like...
Yeah, once the previews, well, they're out. I need to read some. If it's forgiving, I will hop into it. If it's like, nah, fuck you, you lose everything, you die, I will know about it that politely.
Yeah.
Politely, nope.
Nope.
No thanks. Not for me.
Off Duty Bill says, I got some Felix Grays on your recommendation and they own. I'm so glad that you like them. Yeah, they're one of our awesome sponsors here at What's Good Games. FelixGrayGlasses.com/games is where you want to go. All right, you guys, 20 seconds.
Lizzie D, can't stay long because you have a class coming in 10 minutes.
But thank you for the sub, Lizzie.
Yeah. Go learn or learn people, whatever it is you're doing. I'm not sure how to read your sentence.
Yeah, that is the problem with this being in the middle of the morning or in the middle of the day if you're on the East Coast during a weekday. But, we don't make the rules.
No. You just show up.
The generous support of our premier sponsors, Electronic Arts, Nintendo.
Okay,
PlayStation,
friends.
Tencent
Strap
Games,
in,
and Xbox
grab your
Game
drinks
Studios,
or your water
media
for us.
partner IGN, and supporting sponsors
Let's watch some
Hatch and
people win
Noodle
shit.
House. Brought to you by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. This is the award celebration by game makers for game makers, honoring the games that connect players around the globe. No matter where we come from or what our interests, video games bring us together. We gather here to
Thanks,
honor our
Ed
fellow
Skeet.
creators and the very best of interactive entertainment.
I think we're both slightly scared, but also excited.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 24th annual
Slightly scared.
D.I.C.E. Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the D.I.C.E. Awards starts now.
I'm a little pixely. I should pop back in, friends. For some reason, I always get pixely on these latest streams. Don't know why.
Welcome to the D.I.C.E. Awards. I'm
I'm
Jessica
Comcast.
Chobot.
Xfinity, excuse me.
I'm Greg Miller, and I'm not wearing pants.
Oh my God, Greg, come on.
Come on, Jess. Wait, it's a weird year for the D.I.C.E. Awards. What you're wearing? What are you wearing? You wearing the full
I'm wearing
outfit? Let me see.
I'm wearing my awesome PJ bottoms.
See,
I got
that's
PJs
everybody
and
at home.
flares.
They're doing the same thing. This ain't the unusual. Oh, nice. Oh, those socks are nice.
No, the socks
You got the grips on them?
The socks are key. They're clutch.
Okay.
Nice and toasty. So yes, as you would expect, we're actually recording the D.I.C.E. Awards a little bit differently this year.
That's right. At home. We are at home. This is our house. That's your house. There's no teleprompter.
No teleprompter, but ladies and gentlemen, they do not pay us enough to be off book.
They sure don't, Jess. So let's get this show
They're
on
both
the road
just
and
like,
look
let's
back
just pull out
at
our
2020.
So this year, more than ever, video games were able to bring people together. Mostly so that we could just try and push each other off the ledge in order to win a Fall Guys crown, but still together.
You're still playing with other people. It counts.
Yeah,
Like,
it counts.
Square Enix's Marvel's Avengers came out last year, and it is set to become good this year.
Oh gosh, that's a little harsh.
130 hours in that game. I can say whatever I want, Jess, all right? I bought every battle pass.
He has played
Jess, I don't wanna
Avengers
brag,
probably
but one
more
of my
than
greatest
anybody
achievements
else I
of
know.
2020 was getting 2 crowns in Fall Guys.
That's pretty good. Mine was actually learning how much my family relies on each other for a sense of true fulfillment and purpose. But yeah, I'm glad to hear about your friends, Greg.
Nice. I got 4 crowns. I beat Greg Miller.
I'm not going to lie. I wish you had gone first on this topic.
Yeah, also, I won the crown a bunch too.
God.
Hey, Graham, welcome to the chat.
Being cooped up inside last year made me really grateful for brilliant games with beautiful visuals that made me feel like I was on a bit of a mind vacation, like Ghost of Tsushima.
Wait, like, you assassinate people on vacation?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to, Greg.
Oh, yeah, okay. You know what? Fair enough. Back to you, Jess.
Yeah, let's just move on. Another game that really helped me relax this year was Microsoft Flight Simulator. I wanted it to feel as much as the
That was a
real
game I
thing
never
possible, so
played.
I bought myself a flight stick,
So admittedly,
an
I'm
ultra-wide
really
screen
out of
monitor,
sync
and
with
I actually
Andrea,
had my
so if I'm
husband
really
come
quiet,
in
I'm just trying to
and sit
sync
in
up.
front of me
Don't
and
mind
lean
me.
his chair as far back as he possibly could, and then got my kid to kick the back of my seat and brought in my farty dog so I could feel like I was sitting right by the toilets.
Oh, she's talking about her farty dogs.
Total immersion, total nostalgia.
You
It was
understand
like
that, Britt.
TGS flights all over again.
No, that's what you missed.
The
You couldn't
problem
fly all this time.
is
You're not thinking of being a TGS. You're not thinking of coming
that
home. You're thinking of
IGN
the
wants to
flight.
play
Okay.
this like 20-second ad, and so I'm
Obviously,
20
this
seconds
past
behind
year
you.
brought us a shocking event.
That's
none of
weird
us could
that
have
they won't
expected.
bring you in live.
GameStop became
No,
relevant
I had
again.
to click on the ad.
I will not lie, I had no
So-
idea what was going on.
I mean, if you want to watch
I
it
read
on a
lot
different
about
source, go
and
for
I
it.
could not
Oh,
explain
I
it to
am,
you
but then they're
now.
like
Once
30
removed
seconds
from it,
ahead of
so,
you.
No
I'll figure it out,
enjoy
friends.
the
We'll make it
bear
happen.
and bull market.
We'll do it.
I loved Animal Crossing New Horizons when it came out, but I got to be honest, I haven't played it in a while. It turns out that of all the things in the world I couldn't do last year, I did not miss yard work.
Yeah, also stop yelling at me just because I'm gone for a few days, Raymond. Some of us have real jobs.
I don't need to hear about my new nickname. I don't need to be guilted for not coming here. Let me buy the Mario stuff and go away.
Yep, seriously. Now, one of
Gosh,
my favorite
haters.
games this year
Animal
was
Crossing
Hades.
haters.
Not only did it have pitch perfect gameplay, but it also told a really powerful story about what if everyone in the underworld.
I have
was
the volume
super
as
hot.
high as it can possibly
So
go,
Possibly hot.
Bakovic.
The
So
abs on these people. Are you kidding me
that's
right now?
that's IGN's
So
fault
many games
if
touched
it's
us
not
this year.
higher.
The Last of Us Part 2, of course, gave us one of the most tragic and heartbreaking stories of all time. While Cyberpunk 2077 gave us one of the most tragic and heartbreaking releases of all time.
Yeah, it's true. In all seriousness, it legit made me feel really sad.
No, don't be serious in this show. This is where we just don't pull the punches.
All
You heard me
right.
talk about GameStop, all right? Keep moving.
Okay, fine. Well, obviously, like we said, it wasn't an easy year. Even E3 got canceled.
Yes, sadly, we found its old tweets.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
Excess Oddities, no, they
Awkward.
traditionally do not have announcements like the Game Awards do. That's the Game
The
Awards
Last of Us
whole
Part 2
brand.
follows the brutal
The DICE
story
Awards
of
are
a
really
woman who
more
will stop
focused
at
on
nothing to
the
get
actual
revenge,
awards and honoring the
also
video games.
Weirdly collectible trading cards.
This is gonna sound a little strange, but I feel like that line alone, like the revenge and collectibles line, kind of perfectly describes my life. Like, you might need to run for your life as a brutal cult hunts you down, but you still have time to explore the room a little bit and see if you can't pull up a card or two.
To rewind, that doesn't sound a little strange. You can either say it sounds strange or very strange.
Hey,
Like,
man, I've made it this far. I think I'm just gonna keep rolling with it.
Doc Brooke, I would say it's more the
whatever-
difference
whatever it
between
takes.
the
Yes, I'll see you in a year,
Oscars
hopefully, in
and
real
like
life.
the
Microsoft shut down Mixer
American
last
Music
year,
Awards.
And if you don't remember what Mixer was, you can hear
because even
all
at the
about it on
Oscars
my
you don't
Twitch
get
channel.
trailers for new
Yes,
games
and
or for
because
new
we
movies.
still like punching someone when they're down. Cyberpunk 2077 also had a controversial release last year, like we mentioned before. A lot of people criticized the game for barely working on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but at the end of the day, really, technology that makes you sad is as cyberpunk as it gets.
See, it's meta. You guys didn't understand what CD Projekt
Oh my
Red was
God.
trying to do. It was more. This is the fourth dimensional kind of game Kojima's always talking about, right? You felt it when you saw it not run on your PlayStation 4. 2020 was an amazing year for games.
And that's
Awkward.
pretty much all we're gonna remember about it.
Nothing else was notable about 2020.
No, keep your eyes forward, eyes on the prize. Let's just get through this. Don't question it. Also, this is the 5th year of us hosting the show, which kind of blows my mind because I did not realize that it's been that long. And like we said before, I know it feels a little bit different, but trust me, we are getting just as few laughs as we have in previous years.
It has stayed the same. It is constant. This time the Twitch chat still really angry about it. And this year they're like, they don't have to ask why. Is the room mic'd? And we're like, no, the room isn't mic'd. That's why nobody's laughing.
Do you remember the year, Britt, when they had all of the background sound because we were eating dinner and everybody could hear all the forks and knives on all of the plates? It was like 3 years ago or something.
Oh my God.
Probably not the best example, Greg.
Oh, so funny.
Fair enough, but even though being remote presented us a whole host of problems, right, it gave us a lot of interesting and incredible opportunities.
Yeah, namely that it allowed us to bring the D.I.C.E Awards.
Oh,
to
Royal Martin,
a
never give
global
YouTube chat a
audience. It is now
chance.
truly a
Don't do
global
it.
event.
Hey,
And rather
Agent
than
47,
just
I
hand
saw
out
you come
awards,
in.
we realized
Welcome.
We had the ability to have all the amazing people nominated tonight and to talk about their craft in virtual roundtables.
Yep, and to introduce how it'll all work, here's our third host.
He's a good friend and an even greater person. This is Khalif Adams.
Thank you so much, Greg. It was a huge honor for me to speak with so many wonderful video game developers, writers, artists, and musicians.
Now, Khalif, while it was an honor, why don't you talk about how long it took you to do this?
It took literally dozens of hours, which is why we had to trim them all down a little bit for time. But for some of you, you'll see highlights from those amazing conversations, and for others, you'll see kind of a more traditional awards presentation.
Yeah, but the good news is that every roundtable will be posted in its entirety over the next couple of months, including discussions.
Wait,
that
so they're
didn't make it
posting
into
parts of the
today's
roundtables
and
during
those
the
rooms were amazing
awards?
to host, and I hope you all get a chance to
Oh.
watch all of the conversations. But what I took
Kinda
from
what it
all of
looks
those
like.
discussions is that we're really lucky to be a part of this industry, no matter whether you play. You
Huh,
host,
that's
you
an
report, stream, or
interesting
develop.
format.
So this will be up very soon on interactive.org, and then
Oh, yeah.
a new roundtable will post every couple of weeks.
That I don't
Without
know
further
if
ado,
I'm
let's
in
get the show
for.
started.
Okay, we'll see how it
Our
goes.
first roundtable of the show is for outstanding achievement in game design.
As you'll see, it takes a special type of person to be a game designer. They need to be creative, technical, detail-oriented, not enjoy vacation days, don't want to see their family, and be underappreciated. If
Oh,
you're
wow.
having fun,
Just
feeling
going
like
for
the
it.
game just works,
Yeah.
then there is a good chance these are the people responsible.
Let's take a look.
Let's dive in with the
interesting.
nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Game Design. When new technologies kind of come into the space and become available, how does that kind of change the way you've thought about game design, and how does it kind of move the game design idea kind of forward in terms of the games that you've made?
I think the technology is it feels like it just keeps coming, and things become much more lush and
Do you know how long this
experiential.
is, Andrea?
And if
the show?
anything, that
I
says
have
you
no
really need to
idea.
keep your eye on the ball of what the experience is you're trying to give people. Suddenly, that
I
becomes
imagine
more and
normally
more
it's like
important
45
as,
minutes.
Graphic
but
fidelity improves.
With this
and,
new
animation
format, it
nuance.
could be
It's no longer
much
can we pull it off?
much
It's what do we
longer.
pull off
Yeah.
with these things.
For us, it's just constant iteration. We play the game, something's not right, and we try to fix it. And so,
This is kind of nice, though, hearing from the people who are nominated, assuming it doesn't go on like too
how can
long.
we make it work for
I think
us?
we
so
all just
can
want to
do
get to the
things
awards, but it is
faster,
interesting
like faster
insight.
builds, faster, just seeing the results in game.
It's all the little details too that we get to push for the technology of like, okay, for example, maybe we had some plants in the space, and now how do we get them to move well as the player moves forward, moves through them? When we talk about immersion, we talk about that feeling of like, more of the things in the world move or break or react to you. Your feeling of being in the space.
You hit it right there with Miles. A big part is his electric powers and like how we showcase.
I think
that with
showcasing some of the gameplay is
VFX
cool.
and dynamic lights and
Yeah.
all that stuff is something we couldn't hit it on fidelity level that we're able to hit now, and it just really starts connecting you and immersing you even more in the games.
One of the
Not
things
digging
I
the format,
love
Nisha.
the most about Hades in that way is that it feels like
I'm with you,
with
Nesha. I think that
every
this is an
layer
interesting
of that
and
game,
maybe
each part of it
not
kind of,
great
unveils
choice for an
itself as
award
this
show.
extra layer of this beautiful
They
thing
should have
that we get a chance
probably
to kind of partake in it. What was your goal when kind of
marketed
designing
it a
each of the
little
gods'
differently.
abilities?
Yeah, it's a combination of what does the game need? You know, like what is an example of something that the game still
But I
lacks
do love the
player
idea
power
of
that
that
might
you're
be
hearing
interesting for the path
from
for
the
them,
devs.
and that's kind of more
Yeah.
of a game design perspective. For something like Demeter, you know, in Hades' expression of Demeter is that she's really, really upset that Persephone is gone missing, and so, you know, she blankets the world in eternal ice. That's a kind of our unique interpretation on Demeter. I don't think you necessarily expect ice powers from her, but it's also.
And I don't know how they're going to do these roundtables
roundtables
for every single category. There's no way that they can. This show would be 4 hours long.
There was
Well,
a need for a set of boons that basically
yeah,
slowed
there's
the
way too
enemies
many.
down in some way and opened up some of these other powers. And at the intersection of like our needs
Thanks,
on
Terrence
the design
Little.
side and our desire to portray Demeter in this specific way as the goddess of the seasons and specifically cold, we basically wrap those things together.
Corey, I'm kind of curious about that from Half-Life Alec's perspective, because you have a very special thing that you have to account for, which is the player and in their bodies being in VR physically. You know, your eyes get tired, your head gets tired from having a headset on. What's the conversation that you all kind of talked through about, you know, how do we want to kind of display this story in a way that also gives you
Mobit, and you're
the
watching while you're
satisfaction as
at
a
Burger
player to
King?
feel like you've had this
Respect.
journey, but also
Wait, what'd you
doesn't
order?
make you
Tell us
tired
what you
Yeah,
get.
when you're like, I need
details.
to take this headset off, or my eyes hurt for being that close to a VR screen. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that before you wrap.
Sure. Being able to tell a story through Alex became an interesting challenge. Since in the previous games, we've never had the protagonist talk. Like Gordon is a silent protagonist. He's always getting talked to. And it was interesting to try and explore what happens if we make Alex talk.
I guess like the good news for this is at least they can try it now in a virtual format, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Be a good idea
There
or
you go.
not.
Tis the year to experiment.
Because there's no way this would work IRL in Vegas. Like everybody would walk out of the room.
People started
Yeah,
responding more
our
positively
attention
to
span
it.
isn't that
Now
great in
we're going to
Vegas.
dig into it. The winner.
Oh, the winner.
of
We got a
D.I.C.E.
winner.
award for outstanding achievement game design is Hades. Congratulations! Congrats! Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a huge honor to have been nominated among a group of just amazing games this year. Really, really well designed.
I feel like
games.
Hades is the dark
Games
horse
that try
to
do
take a bunch
a
of
lot what we
awards
hope to
away
do
from
in terms of,
Tlu.
like melding world building
Yeah.
and atmosphere and narrative with their mechanics. And frankly, it's just amazing to even be included in the conversation with these games, which are huge, huge, inspiring productions that are really, really complicated.
It's
to
so
put together
awkward they
and,
announce
you
when
know,
they're all in chat.
means a lot for our small design team. So
Well, I
thank you
mean, they would announce when they were all in the
Congratulations
audience,
to you.
so.
Well
Yeah.
earned, indeed. Moving on, our next award is for Outstanding Achievement in Character. And this year, there were a lot of good characters to talk about.
A little note, due to technical difficulties, Ashley Swidowski, Ashley Johnson, and Laura Bailey couldn't join us as initially planned, but Hallie Gross nailed it for Team The Last of Us Part 2. So many wonderful folks stepped up to be a part of this.
Welcome to the 24th Annual D.I.C.E. Awards and the conversation with our nominees around the outstanding achievement in character.
Oh, look at
These
that!
nominees
Spawn
are
on me.
voted by
Kai, you
their
should be
peers to
streaming
at
with
the top of
us.
their
What are you
game.
doing
What
right
makes in
now?
your mind
Or don't you want to
Yeah.
watch yourself?
Really
Feeling a little
fantastic
nervous
people.
about it?
You know, and how do you kind of bring the
Ha, Doc,
attributes
but
that
can
you're
he
thinking
cook
about,
ribs?
you know, to the games that
Yeah,
you've
Kai,
had a
you're
chance to
killing
write
it.
on or act in?
The thing that we really hinge on is we're looking for aspirational characters, and especially with the Miles game, you know, a big thing for us was from the very beginning, we really wanted to celebrate Miles as a character. You know, he's the child of an African-American father, Puerto Rican mother, and it was really, really important to us that anytime a player picked up our game and saw themselves in Miles or one of the people in his life, recognized someone that they care about, that they felt really, really good about that moment of recognition.
I
and
feel
they
like
felt
we're
you know,
probably going
it
to
made
get
them
the
feel good
same
about themselves
bundles
in their lives.
of
Your
game
thoughts as the person
awards
who
that we
embodied
have
the
in previous
mask.
years. Like
There
they're
was a
probably
tell
going to
that I
bundle
cloned
like
myself so I could host this
just
and
to
do my
make
9 to
him
5 today.
relatable to,
Look at you, Hustler McGee.
what Miles was going through at the time. He was just getting out of puberty as a
Go
young
treat yourself
man
with some prune
and then
cookies.
getting a huge responsibility to take on.
To yes, and what they've already said.
nothing like a good prune cookie as a
You're building a character,
celebration
you want to build it
dessert.
holistically. You want to think about where did they come from, what do they care about, what do they hope for, what are they lying to themselves
There,
about?
I'm back.
And you know, looking at The Last of Us
Discord
Part 2 as
froze,
an
but I'm back.
example, So many times our characters
I
were
didn't.
their
I
own
didn't see
worst
that you were
enemy or their
frozen.
own greatest
I don't know if I actually was.
antagonist. So
Discord was frozen.
how
Maybe I
can
wasn't
you
frozen.
That's been
create a
happening a
character
lot
that
lately.
has both
Yeah.
light and dark, good and bad,
They're like
and still
upgrade.
Discord.
kind of
Like
want to
upgrade. What
step
is
in
it?
their
To
shoes
turbo
every
or
step
some
of the
shit?
way, and
Take
even if you
Microsoft's
don't
money,
agree with their
Discord.
decisions, understand why they're making those decisions and that those decisions feel valid for them.
Relatability is something that I look
Go
for
have a good happy cry,
lot,
Ka.
and authenticity.
You deserve
in
it, friend.
characters, and
Heck
even
yeah.
In the more fantastical the character, the more important that is almost. It's like we're dealing, in Hades with.
Listen, Adon stands alone. You're allowed to have your opinion, even if it's incorrect.
Interesting is not their lightning powers; it's their.
Yeah, it would be chocolate chip, peanut butter, oatmeal raisin. I don't mind a good peanut butter.
Into all of that stuff, I think.
Snickerdoodles.
And making them as specific as possible.
Yes, UK Vampire. Discord has come forward to say that they're not entertaining
Darby,
any
has
offers
that
because they're looking to go
conversation changed
IPO
for
this
you
year.
At all in terms of, the basis of a character like Ivor, kind of in the grander scope of the.
Love you,
Assassin's
Ka.
Creed
Congrats
world?
again.
Has
You're
the idea of
crushing
a
it.
character or a great one changed at all for you?
With Eivor being a pagan from a Norse culture.
Are you still playing
in
Valhalla,
society
Andrea, or did you like?
I finished it.
Oh, you did finish it. Okay.
I mean, there's like, there's the DLC, the river raids that you can do, and there's like a couple of side quests and stuff that I didn't finish, but
being the ultimate warrior.
well, actually, the side quests mostly I did. It's like a lot of like collectible stuff that I didn't finish.
How do we get the player in those shoes?
Because I needed to move on to something else. But when the expansion comes out, the Druids expansion. Oh yeah, see Nano, Then I'll be back.
We get a chance now to give away our DICE award for outstanding achievement.
I forget. I'm like 10 seconds ahead.
And the winner is Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah. Nicely done, Ben and
Well done.
Very, very cool.
Damn, Najee, take a bow, man.
Thank you all so much. First off, I would like to thank God because without him, this would have been possible. And I would also like to thank the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. I would like to say I am very, very honored to be considered with my fellow nominees. I'm thrilled to accept this award on the behalf of all the hardworking people who brought Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales to life. And
don't worry, Najee. We all know it's a mouthful to say all those branding words together.
Our head animator, James Ham, and our stunt crew, Sherry Booker, Seth Austin, and Ross Constam. And a huge shout out to Jordan Holland, Dominique Batts, Darius Salary.
You think
Chris
here
and
they would
Michael
like zoom in
Carter,
on just his
Jaharon
face,
Jackson,
but okay, there we go.
Khalil Dickerson,
Yeah.
Sergio Heights, Alex Aligan,
Like
and
a
Moses
single shot.
Abednego.
Yeah,
Creative director,
like this.
Brian
Yeah.
Workman. And everyone at Insomniac Games, Marvel Games, and Sony Interactive, thank you all so much.
Hell yeah, Miles Morales.
Woo!
Woo!
Hell yeah, indeed. That's a
Spider-Man
great
last
game right there. Don't listen to Blessing Jr., all right? You know what I mean, Ka? Don't trust this kid.
No, he's too
Thank
young.
you.
He doesn't know.
There's nothing
Hey,
better in
Zamino,
games
welcome.
Than getting to play a role in
Hello.
a grand interactive tale, and there's nobody better to say how they do it than the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Story.
Hi, everybody.
Can I
I'm
just
here with
say that we are
nominees for
20 minutes
Outstanding
into this
Achievement
award
in
show and they've
Story.
given away 2
Storytelling
awards?
has so many different forms.
You can say that. It's true.
Books, movies,
the
even
truth.
sometimes limericks can play themselves into that equation. But what in this medium makes, the storytelling more interesting?
13 Sentinels in particular is
13
is really a
Sentinels.
cohesive
I really
love
like
letter
that
to
game.
Many stories that came before it.
Andrea,
each,
you would not like that game.
It's not an
Stay away
Andrea
from
kind
it.
of game.
Oh, it's not.
On a distinct
No, Nano. DICE is actually one of the few shows that is actually very brief. It's like I said, it's usually 45 to 60 minutes. They get you in, get you out, because they know that people, like I said, want to get back to the party. It's like the awards are held in Vegas. It's a lot of executives, design studios, and things like that, development studios, and so they don't like to like hold people around.
Kind of come to the
They're like, let's get in, give away all the awards, pat each other on the back, and then get to the after party.
Yep. We all want to play in the bright, shiny lights, and the alcohol, and the bars, the clubs.
My team, we really like working at a very we really like making.
I know,
stories
East
that
Coast Cody
unfold
did the
in a
math.
slow
6
pace.
awards an
One of the
hour
first
at
ones
this pace.
that we made,
Yikes.
and they give a lot of space for things to kind of resonate while you have the player doing what seem like mundane tasks. Things can be kind of echoing or something. So So I really enjoyed finding that kind of openness.
In Ghost, you know,
I
Jin's kind
thought
of
that
forced
guy
to
was
abandon his
Sessler
plan
with
in order
hair.
to win this kind of big war.
No, Sessler's much
His
older
change
than
into
that.
Ghost
Come
and
on.
subsequent kind of moral, you know, conflict with
Yeah,
his
there's no
uncle
after party
was
this
kind of
time.
central to
Think
his
Pal,
journey.
you're right.
It's
Of, you know,
true.
how
The after
important
party
was
is
it
like
for the
time to go
overall
to
story
lunch.
that Jin kind of faced
Time to go
these
to our living room.
consequences and, you know,
Yay.
and his actions, you know, that they were kind of really meant there to kind of save his people.
The entire narrative, not just Jin's narrative, but every
I
side
don't
character's
see how
story
Ghost of Tsushima wins
exists
this. I
to
mean, I
tell
thought
a
this game
different
was really
side of
fun,
what
but I
life
actually
can be
thought the
like.
story was what
The
was
prime relationship
lacking
between
in this game.
Jin, our hero, and his uncle.
It
who's
felt
the
so tropey.
personification
So many of the side quests in particular felt
kind of the status
very
quo. Really and
formulaic.
truly, it
I'm with you. I
only
think
works
what made Ghost so
because you like the
brilliant
uncle,
was the
and you
world, the
don't wanna lose
exploration.
that
I love the
relationship.
combat
You
in
don't
it,
wanna lose
but the
that
story itself
person
wasn't
who
that
you care
deep.
about because that's the person
Right.
you thought you
I mean,
wanted
to
be.
me, it's
how
like,
important
how
was it to kind of
does
lean into
Naughty
those
Dog or Supergiant not
conversations
take
around
this? I
family
feel like
with Hades
Naughty Dog is
stronger?
poised to
It's kind of
take
like
the
at
story
the heart
category,
of
right?
The entire concept for us that really, you know, not so secretly, Hades is a story about family, and the kind of dynamics, the complicated dynamics that can happen with kind of the underlying idea that if even the gods have such messy family relationships, then what hope do any of us mortals have?
Ellie and Abby were entangled in an intertwining story. How difficult was it to build that story so well and keep the players so completely engaged as you've done?
In this instance, it was like, oh, how can we tell two stories of people that through circumstances have become
Enjoy your
antagonistic
food,
towards
UK
each
vampire.
other, but
It's
are
probably
not
blood.
necessarily
It's your
better
vampire.
or worse morally than the other. They just have come from different places, and their stories.
There are parts of this story that I did not like,
just have
but
placed
I
them on.
fully
So then you have,
appreciate
right,
just
you
how
have,
well
the
done the
meeting,
story
you have,
was.
like the inciting incident. you
Because
have
it
all
made me
these
feel
things that get
something,
thrown
and that to
aboard
me
pretty
means that they
quickly,
did a
and
good
then you
job.
start brainstorming as not just writers, but as a team.
Excess
like,
Oddities,
what
I'm
would
with you.
we
I would
need to
also
play?
be shocked.
Now, I get to do my favorite part of these conversations, which is give away a lovely DICE award. We're going to give away our Outstanding Achievement in Story award, and the DICE award goes to The Last of Us 2.
Of course it does. Of
Yeah.
course it does. I like how
What an
John
honor,
reminds us
especially,
that
like, as we're here
achievement
chatting
in
and I'm, like,
is a
thinking
very
about which one of
interesting
these games
phrase.
that
What's the
have
most
not only
interesting or
told
unique or innovative thing, not just the
compelling stories,
best
but have done
story
it
or
each
best
in a
screenplay?
different creative way within
'Cause
our
that's super
medium. Like, I
subjective,
really
right?
think this could have gone to
Yeah.
anyone. So just shout out to everybody here. It's an honor to be amongst you guys. I want to, I guess, call it the narrative team. My co-writer Hallie Gross, and then Josh Scher and Ryan James who helped me co-write this massive game.
I don't think there's closed
And then really
captioning for
everyone at Naughty
the
Dog.
IGN
We
stream.
all work. It's a collaborative meeting.
Yeah, let me check and see if I can
and
pull up a
it-
different
like
stream
we've been
then.
talking about here. It's
Ooh, maybe
so
we
many
can
of the
sync
ideas
up then,
come
girl.
from
I love
Yeah.
when we can sync with you.
specific brainstorms or just like a chat by the water cooler.
Is
or
it just
trying to
twitch.tv/DICE
make the
awards
best
or just
game we
DICE?
can with the tools that we have. And,
I was on IGN,
trying to
but
fumble our way through this. So
see.
on behalf of everyone at
Oh,
Naughty
it
Dog,
doesn't
just
say that they're
thank you.
live.
Well deserved, Naughty Dog.
I don't know if it's only.
They
let's
did
see.
the best. Let's just say it. Is this going to be another Zelda year too, Jess, where they just get everything, you think?
Get everything? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, let's find out. We got a lot
Let's
of awards
find out.
to give out.
We got a bunch of script to read through. Let's see what happens. And as we mentioned before, remember that the full
Try
discussions
YouTube.
will be available over at interactive.org very soon.
Next up is Action Game of the Year. The nominees for Action Game of the Year are
YouTube has the
Half-Life
captions.
Okay. I'm heading over there right
YouTube.com/IGN.
now.
Hades.
Oh,
After
wait,
they give
we don't
away
have-
this award, I'll make the swaparoo.
There's no captions. I lied. It was just on the ad.
Doom
Not on
Eternal.
the actual stream,
Oh.
not on the actual words. Dang.
Oh yeah, I don't see the caption thing on YouTube.
Yeah. Huh.
Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Neo 2.
Well then, never mind. I won't switch over.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
That seems like a big oversight.
It really does. Yeah. Well.
We've never gotten to actually give out an award at this show. Hold on, I gotta open my virtual envelope. And the winner is Hades.
Thank you so much. Yeah, wow, this is a huge honor. You know, in the past, our games have been praised for their outstanding art, music, writing, atmosphere. So it's a huge compliment that in Hades, the gameplay and feel rose to that same level of recognition. So yeah, I mean, as everyone at the table here knows, making games takes so much difficult cross-disciplinary effort and so many trade-offs that it's really hard to ever stand out in one or more than one area. So especially to be recognized by our peers in the gaming industry is incredibly humbling.
Congratulations on both this award and stealing hundreds of hours all of us could have spent with family. And now you got to ask yourself, Jess.
Yeah.
Is it Hades that's going to be the Zelda? Who's going to be the Zelda? Who's Breath of the Wild? Is it going to be Last of Us?
If we're going off what we know right now as we're reading through this, I think maybe Hades.
Yeah, Danny, that's a good point. The fact that it's been pre-recorded and they've had it done, they easily could have added captions.
You know, I think that's gonna be mostly just them.
Kyle, what do you think?
I mean, I'm still waiting for the award for most abs because we know who would win that easy. That's the easy one.
Yeah. Greg, right?
That's a keg, not a six-pack. After that is Adventure Game of the Year, and the nominees are Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
My personal fave.
Ghost of Tsushima,
Even though Ghost of Tsushima was pretty excellent.
Yeah.
Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition,
I think I'm rooting for my little Jinsakai. Has nothing to do with his butt, I promise you.
Ori and the Will of the
A lot
Wisps.
to do with his butt.
This game was also one of my favorites of 2020. Really loved this game. If you missed it, play it.
The Last of Us Part 2.
But like, I feel like it's so hard to put a genre on The Last of Us.
And the winner is Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah!
There's so many great games out there, and we're just all lucky to be in the same industry, making such cool stuff together. Especially in this category, there's some stiff competition, some amazing games. So, just thank you so much. You know, our team is incredibly proud of the game, and also super thankful for everyone that's helped make it. So, it's been a crazy, awesome journey for us.
Oh, I loved the standoff mode. I spec everything for standoff.
An
I was
amazing
like, let's
game.
go.
They wrote stuff here. I don't even know
Justice
what
Reflexes,
what an amazing
girl.
game Ghost was. Are you kidding me right now? How much fun did you have with that, Jess?
I loved it. I
Right?
absolutely loved it. I still, let me just, I still have some time because I got sucked into a different game. But my two choices would have been Valhalla or Tsushima, and I'd have to go with Tsushima. I think it was the right choice.
Yeah, Ka?
Agreed. Best grass outside of Portland.
Yeah, Sucker Punch, great job. Congratulations.
Ka with the jokes.
With it and push the
I
envelope
know, I love
on,
it.
on, like with the black and white mode and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, I really felt like I was playing, I was
Well,
kind
just
of like in a
following the
Lady
wind.
Snowblood.
I never played in
situation.
Kurosawa mode. You tried it, right, Britt?
Oh yeah, it was really
Back-
cool.
back on book,
They
back
did a
on
lot
book.
of
As
neat
we
things with
mentioned
it, not
before,
just visually,
even awards
but
that
with
are
the audio
without
as
a full
well.
interview tonight have a roundtable discussion posted over the next couple of months over on interactive.org. And speaking of amazing, Greg Way.
That was a really good Greg way. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And
Well, they wrote that
speaking
one.
of-
It's not as bad as my usual ones.
And speaking of amazing, I had the pleasure.
All
of
that
speaking with
juice. Who's the
nominees for Mobile
schmuck
Game
in
of
the
Year.
middle? I mean, he does have a lower third there. You can read his
24th annual
name.
D.I.C.E conversation around mobile games of the year. Everyone nominated for Mobile Game of the Year has beautiful games that they've created, and they help to push the boundaries of what we're able to do in mobile games. The first thing I want to kind of dig into is more kind of a general question for all of you. Where has the craft of creating games?
Now
on a
that's
mobile
still the
platform
correct
gone
question.
Over the past 10 years? And where would you like to see it kind of move in the next 5 or so?
If we look back 10, 15 years ago, we probably could never really predicted, how far gaming on this platform would come. I don't see it going away anytime soon. And so all the skill and the creativity on this platform is only going to evolve over time, and the breadth at which people can build things is going to expand. So I think it's actually one of the most exciting platforms.
Just such a wide audience, such a wide number of people have phones. We wanted to make the kind of games that everyone could appreciate, and I think a lot of people probably on this
AC should take notes from Ghost of Tsushima. You do realize that Ghost of Tsushima stole a lot of their game mechanics from Assassin's Creed, right, Whiskey Jack? Right? Right? You understand that? Obviously, Ghost was much more stylish in specific ways, but like the entire first 20 hours I played Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, this is just like ripping everything from Assassin's Creed.
I wonder what they did differently though, because I always get lost in AC games, but Ghost, I like 100%ed it. I was super
And
into
that
it.
means that we're able to tell different kinds
They
of
do
stories than we were 5
too
or 10
many
years ago.
collectibles in
I'm
AC,
really
but the
excited
AC
to
audience
know
like lives for
what
that. I don't
everyone
personally,
else's story is.
but they
The
just make the
stories we
story
haven't
too
heard
big. And I
yet
feel like
from the
Ghost
kinds of people who
added
haven't
collectibles, but they made
previously
them
been a part of the games community.
they made them more achievable and they made them more
so experienced
chaseable,
with
right?
mobile
Like you would
parts
go
was slightly more,
after
it was how you kind of get
you
to
know,
the point where you go, I can give
the
you a
specific
totally rewarding-
things like the
rewarding
poems,
The
for
shrines,
example,
the-
right?
yeah,
right,
the
to get
haikus,
to get those
the
custom
boxes.
to get those
Literally
cosmetics.
3, 5, 6
And
minutes,
AC
and you
just
still
I
feel
feel
that
like
sense of
has a bunch
completion,
of
still feel
things
like
in
you've
it
achieved
that are
something.
like,
And there, to me,
okay,
that's
you
one of the
go
real
spend all this time
art
doing this
forms of
thing and here's a
mobile
couple skill
development that,
points. And it's like,
yeah, like I say, kind of comes
Yeah.
from the
that doesn't
outside,
feel
it's
worth
kind
it.
of for people that can get that sense of I've really achieved
Hello,
something
kind
here.
of funny
I've done
games.
it
Thanks
in
for the sub.
literally minutes.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome.
But, you know, it happens.
I'm trying to think of like what that means for a game like Song of Bloom as well, with a constantly kind of shifting, unique experience that you felt like you were kind of riding along, the players riding along with you. You know,
What was
did
that
you kind of
mobile game,
expect
Andrew, that
players
you
to
were
kind
like
of most
super in? The
dig
Lego
into,
Towers? Is that
or
what it was
feel
called?
like, you know, so much
Lego
different
Tower, I was
components to
definitely
surface? How do you
super
kind of
into.
make
Legend of
sure
Soul
that
Guard,
you're
I spent a bunch of time with as well.
all the good meat
Yeah, Lego
of the
Tower,
game
I
without,
lost
you know,
my
getting
life to
stuck
for a
or
while.
getting, you know, too lost in space. I'm curious about
I
that.
remember that.
That I
think that was the
really
last time
wanted that
I've
the
played an
player
actual like
is, motivated
mobile game
to
in a hot minute.
explore it and feel playful.
Yeah, I've been
to
playing
just
more
play with
classic
it.
games recently, like
But
Yahtzee.
instead, they just wait for instructions, which
Oh
I
my
just
God.
didn't want to provide. So,
Listen,
so
you
I
know,
just
wrong with that?
open up a space. and
Yahtzee's
the ability
great.
To do anything.
See,
so
exactly,
you can,
Benny Andrea
you
Renee.
can
She
interact with it
existed
by
inside Lego
touch,
Tower. It was
and
great.
Something happens, not necessarily the right thing.
Nano,
but
I'm happy
something
to
happens.
pass my addiction along to
Again, thank
you.
all
I
for-
also
for
got
sharing
Joey
thoughts
Noel
on-
addicted
on-
to it
on
too.
everything that you've done and the games that you put out into the world, because they're all fantastic. And now we get to tell you all who gets to win the award for
Whiskey, I'm with
Best Mobile
you.
Game
It's bloated.
of the year.
Oh yeah, Sapphire Diamond Ruby. That's
and
right.
our
That
winner
game that just came out. Oh
is
fuck, what was
Legends
that
of
called? I need to
Runeterra.
play that. That looks really fun.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Apple Arcade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean that's amazing. It's definitely an honor to be recognized by D.I.C.E and honestly to be up here with such great company. So thank you all very much. You know, I'm
Congrats,
floored because
Riot. You did
honestly,
another
our mission
thing.
has always been to kind of create that card game that celebrated players, you know, creativity.
I wish I
and
liked
cleverness
card
like
games
talked
more.
about, and showcase these
Like,
rich
oh,
stories in the League
yeah.
of Legends universe. And
I was like,
you know, it's
like
tough. I
Crazy
think we're
8.
entering we're entering
I
a
mean,
genre
I
that
love
has a
classic
bunch of
card
stigmas
games.
about it.
Clearly.
I get down with some Go Fish, okay?
Oh fuck yeah.
We play
the best game of Go Fish one of these
A lot of
days.
players' lives, especially during this crazy time.
Thanks for the
So
sub,
I guess
Bromo
I'll
Part.
say
Dice
thanks
is
to-
nice, but
to
WGG
Riot
Game
and all
Awards
the
are my
writers
faves.
who,
It's because we like to keep it loose. We like to have
us
fun.
along the way here. You know, I honestly feel like we couldn't have made this game anywhere else, and I feel really proud to be there and to represent them. And honestly, congrats to our amazing team who worked on Legends of Runeterra and their dedication towards, you know, making our players' dreams come true. Where, you know, I think a lot of us grew up playing card games, and we were able to like kind of make our dream game. And thanks so much, Dice, and we really appreciate it. It's quite an honor.
Amazing work.
Yeah. These round tables look like they were so much fun, Kyle.
Oh, they were a blast. I got to meet so many wonderful folks, and they were all brilliant. It was super cool. You should go check them out at www.interactive.org.
Ooh, nicely done.
Look at that plug.
Dang, he just wrote that in there himself.
Look at that.
Hey,
up, the
IOCat,
nominees
thanks for the
for Outstanding
sub.
Achievement
Welcome to the
game
stream.
embodied the idea that small teams with limited budgets can make great things. Here are the highlights.
For each of you developing with really small teams, what were the most challenging parts, and how did you get those games across the finish line?
Yeah, right. Well, we decided to release the game in episodes, and a big
This is
part
such
of
an
that,
interesting
it
category
wasn't
because
our initial
the
vision for the game,
classification
but
of what's
a
an
big part of that
independent
decision
game
was
these days
about
is kind of
exactly this,
quite
like,
broad,
maintaining,
actually.
feeding the audience, nurturing the audience. You know, at the same time as we were talking about kind of trying to keep our team alive, we're just like trying to keep the audience alive. And we it was really hard for us to share.
We need like
teasers
specific
and
definitions.
things like
What do you
that
mean by
because
independent game?
We were very sensitive
So
about
many.
not spoiling these sort of moments of
Raven Buffalo Chief, that's an
novelty or surprise
interesting
we're kind of
thing to
load-bearing in our
consider. I'm
story.
sure DICE,
And,
the people who run the
so it was
academy,
really hard to
also
figure out how to
contemplated excited
keep in
people
touch with
watching
the
this at
audience,
work
and
as well.
We wanted to see what we could do with a really focused pre-production period. and then planned to launch into early access.
I mean,
to try
it's going to
to
be Hades for sure,
try a new
Whiskey.
process of
Like, I
development
don't
for
know
us
how
and to
Hades doesn't
really
win
try to
this
refine
category.
the game with the help of an audience and make it as good as we could with the input of players.
So much of like, I'd say the first half of the first 2/3 of your project, you're creating ideas and you're adding all this stuff. And then at some point you gotta like, you're adding ideas without knowing where it's going.
The best family game, Hades. Just nominate Hades for everything.
Here is our end point, or here is like the most important part of the game.
When we did the game jam, Fahmi Hasni, back then he was like our marketing guy. He wanted to make
I
a
had this game for a bit, Coffee
that
Talk. Had an
emulates
interesting
the
premise.
feeling of like holding a warm drink
But then I went back to
and
Yakuza.
watching the
Whoops.
rain while listening
Well,
to
it's probably
music
because it's all about coffee
talking to
and
friends,
romance,
like
and one of
in a
those things
coffee
you
shop.
don't care
We had
for.
this, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
we had this
Fucking love
physics
coffee,
system.
hate romance.
Every pixel seemed like
I was gonna say I don't know what you got
it's
against
a lot of
romance,
fun.
but
It
you
was fun
know.
to toy with. There have been these
Maybe it's called
powder
Whiskey Talk. I'd be into it.
browser games for a long
Ah,
time
thanks,
that
Irk Skirk.
haven't had like a gameplay element.
Every time I see your name,
but
I
have
want
been
to say
still a
Irk
lot of
Skirt
fun to
and
play with.
Boogie.
So we
You
knew
know
that it was
song?
fun.
Scoot
We
and Boogie.
noticed.
Oh,
that
girl,
this
do I know that
actually
song?
really
I'm from the country. You forget.
I know.
fun to see.
One of these days
we
we'll
ran
go and
into
we'll
the
do some
problem
boot
multiple
scooting.
times.
Yes, I grew up on Brooks and Dunn. Love it.
Oh my
Yeah,
Thank you,
that game is
Superstar
just
Shadow.
about, I don't know.
I mean,
you're
Super
living
Shadow Star.
Explosion and you
Whatever.
explode everything every single time. That-
Appreciate the sub.
That stops being interesting. And actually
Bye, Whiskey.
realizing that giving restrictions require the player to be more creative.
John just sighs
We
the
are
chat.
at one of my favorite parts. My favorite part in general. Of
I like how Trevor's like, yeah, it's probably going to go to the indie game that was good enough to make the Game of the Year category.
to one of you amazing folks. Hey, our winner for outstanding achievement
Safe bet.
for an indie game for the 24th annual D.I.C.E Awards goes to Hades.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
So far,
geez.
I think Hades
you
is
so much,
the
too.
front runner
Guys,
for
this
how
is
many awards
amazing.
they've won.
I think you're right.
I'm not keeping a
it's been
tally,
wild
but
ride since Hades released into 1.0 in September. I mean, I want to say thank you to the incredible team of people that I work with at Supergiant who are some of the best
Shocked,
people I
I
know
say.
and some of the most talented
Yeah, we're
people
all
I've ever met
insane.
in my whole life, and I get to work with them every day, so that's awesome.
what's up, Moa? Welcome to the
Would
stream.
like to say that I'm very grateful to our players for being so incredibly supportive and effusive and really just coming along for the ride.
Oh, thanks, Trevor.
Players
They've won
who
3
joined
of
us
the
in early
7
access and
awards
the
given
players
so
who joined us
far.
since, and-
It's pretty
and to
good.
see, the reaction to Hades kind of blow up in a way that none of our previous games have. To
So
a
I've
degree,
I've
has
been
really
contemplating
incredible, especially in
starting my
sort of like a
playthrough of
pretty dark
this.
time, a dark
Uh-huh.
period in the world. It's nice. to
But part of
see,
me wants to wait until it
people
comes to
having
console.
things to say about Hades that it
What do you
helped
mean?
them through
Like, 'cause it's
something,
only on
helped them cope
PC
with
and Switch
something,
right
helped
now.
them deal with the
Oh, so you mean like a
it
PS5
was a
for
mirror their
PS5 or
daily life,
Xbox, yeah.
you know, all that kind of stuff. It's really
okay,
incredible.
okay.
But they
to
haven't
see
really
this,
announced
so
that yet.
I'm,
Did they announce Xbox?
I
I
feel
can't remember.
incredibly honored,
John says
to
Switch
receive
is a
this award
console, you
on
monster.
behalf of
That's why I was a
Supergiant,
little thrown off
thank you
too,
so
but
much.
you know.
I know it's on
Again,
Switch.
which honestly makes me want to play Hades again. And reinforces my opinion
They're
earlier on in the show.
They're starting to run away with it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, what's gonna go on? What do you think, Twitch chat? Oh,
Whoa.
uh-huh.
Immersive reality for technical achievement.
Oh, we still have a lot of awards to go, so let's see what the nominees for immersive reality technical achievement had to say.
Mario Kart Live Home
Terry
Circuit.
and Nate, you know, I think the games that you both have made have the kind
Mario
of most
Kart.
direct, you know, connection or analog to the kind of more traditional game space in some of the things you've done with Mario Kart and Half-Life Alyx.
Cleve,
curious to
it's
hear your
Mario.
thoughts
He
about
says,
what that
it's
process is
me,
like as well,
Mario.
making this experience very, very
No, this
singular
Mario
and
business.
different compared to what a
New
kind of
Yorker is
traditional
always
version
calling
of
him
it
Mario. I'm like, no, his
The
name is
ability of
Mario.
teams to put in mixed reality elements to really bring that experience to life, a video game experience
like
to
this
life
kind
in a
of
very mundane
died.
setting, you know, in your
It's
in
too
your kitchen or
expensive.
wherever you set it up.
Yeah.
That was its big problem. Like the technology is really cool,
I think they just did
but you only get one car for
Knowing
$100.
that we were making
It's too
another
expensive.
Half-Life game that people had been waiting for some time,
New Yoki's
we were
gotta be
constantly
different.
asking ourselves,
Yoikers?
does this need to be in VR? Why are we making this a VR game? What makes it special to be in VR. So we were continually focusing
Arcstar,
on how to make
I
the
don't
platform
necessarily want to play it on
suitable
Switch
for the
because I
game
think
and
it'll
how to make the
perform
game
better
something that
on
you could only
PlayStation or
experience
Xbox.
in VR. So I think the platform was really great
This
for
is a good time
driving
for a
a lot
potty
of
break, ladies and
creative
gentlemen.
decisions that
Go for it,
you know,
Britt.
they've been making first-person shooters on flat screen games for years, and sort of having new challenges to solve really gets the team
Pants.
you know, creatively energized. Which
There's some
I
truth to
think
that
shows
for
in the final
sure.
product.
Because
Yeah,
the setup
for us, it's a lot
is
about
real.
media specificity. So there's obviously things that you can do in
This
a
category is
simulated
a catch-all,
environment that aren't
John.
replicatable in
Of like,
real
how do
life, you know,
we
whether physics
acknowledge
or
AR,
even the
VR,
way that bodies can be
and kind of toys to
modified and
life in
perspectives
one
can shift.
category,
Hyper
since
Beast
we
is
don't want to have
also in
separate
that
categories
space
for
as
each
well,
one.
Eric. I feel like you have a very, very, very specific kind of way that you've kind of tackled the game that you've made. What has been some of the conversations that you've all had in terms of, you know, comparing the game that you've done to a traditional one?
What I love with VR is
Royal, I think it's pretty
the
easy to find
interaction
now.
with,
She
physics
says
system,
without really knowing.
because
Let me just Google it.
there is something very believable in VR, the feeling of the space, and
Let's
be
see.
able
Shopping. Going to
touch
Google.
things. It's really
I see
something
it
that,
on eBay. Oh, it's available at Target.
put in highlight in a Paper Beast.
Amazon looks like it has it.
Wildlife and how the player
Walmart looks like it has it.
the
Yeah, you should be able to find it. GameStop has
play
it.
with simulated wildlife.
Yeah,
get it and bug my
I'm
dog
curious
with
to hear
it.
your
That could be
thoughts
fun.
about, you know, what those experiences
Okay, since
are
you
that
took
kind
your
of
break, I'm gonna take
replicate
mine.
or are
BRB.
so different than their
Okay.
real life counterparts. I think, Robin, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well.
All right,
Well,
ladies
I
and
think
gentlemen,
we're
she's
really
gone.
fortunate in that we've been able to be really iterative, but I think time and again we've
we
found
can
that
have all
our
the fun.
first, and I think this happens a lot in VR, but our first sort of idea turns out to be totally wrong or backwards, and it's only in trying it that you realize that. But
Now's
yeah,
the time
it's
to talk
pretty
about Resident
much-
Evil.
pretty much
Yes,
trial
John,
and
you're
error,
right. You're
but if we
absolutely
hadn't
correct.
had those
Ladies and gentlemen,
trials
raise
and
your
those
hand
errors,
in
then,
chat
you know,
if
we'd
you
be in a
played
totally
the
different
demo on
place.
PS5
It's
or
part of the
PS4
process that I
last
really
weekend.
enjoy, even if there is you know, some
The
challenges.
adult has left the
Y'all are making
room. Let's
fantastic
fucking
games,
go.
and now I get the
Time to
pleasure
talk
of
about
giving
potty
out
humor.
an award. The
Time to
winner
talk about
of the
butts.
immersive
Andrea likes
reality
talking about
technical
butts,
achievement
so it
is
doesn't really count.
Half-Life Alex. Congratulations, well
Don't want
done.
to take away from this winner here.
Thank you.
Don't want to do that,
Well,
but
geez, it's an
butts,
honor.
yes. Resident Evil, yes.
You know, we put a
Nanobiologist,
lot
the
of
demo was so good.
Time and effort and love into this game.
It was
just
really
like
pretty.
all game devs do. And
died a few
you
times,
never
Cloud.
know until
Wow.
it's done if it's really
Not
going to
judging
be something
you,
that people are
but I'm
receptive
kind of
to.
judging
So
you.
we're just
No, it's
super
okay.
thrilled
They
that
gave you like hardly
people
any
enjoyed
ammo
playing
in
it,
that demo.
and that we were able to produce something of really high
But it's
quality.
the
So
time. I
thank
don't like
you.
the
Thank you very
time.
much.
The timing-based demo.
Great
Not into
work,
that.
Val.
Totally. Well deserved. Half-Life Alex. Very,
The
very.
first whiskey-based drink I'm going to drink when I
Now that
can.
we've heard about the technical side of immersive
So the
reality
weekend
games,
before I
let's
found
keep
out I was
up the
pregnant, I
theme
bought
by
a
talking to
$100
the
bottle of
nominees
Jack
for
Daniel's
immersive
Gold. I
reality
think is what it
game
was.
of the year.
And that
You know,
weekend,
with the variety of
I drank
games nominated here,
a lot of it.
You know, what are some of the common tenets
And
that you
since
all
then, my
kind of
husband has
share
also drank a
across
lot of it. So
this
I think the
medium and
first thing I'm
across
going
the
to do
games
is have
here?
some of that whiskey that I
It's pretty
bought.
clear that
Because as
in
soon as
all
I
of
bought
these
it,
games,
I was able to enjoy it for a little
there's-
bit.
There has been a lot of thought
And then that was
into
it. I couldn't enjoy
how
it
to
anymore
keep
because
the player
my body's like,
immersed
nah, dog,
and
you're going
how
to human.
to
You have to stop
reduce
drinking that good golden shit.
gameplay
So I
that is
did. So I think that's the first thing. I already put the bottle away. I'm going to
taking
just
you
chug
out
the
of,
shit out of it.
out of
It's
the-
going to be
out of
great.
the immersion, out of actually being there. Some of them are pretty different. Like Down the Rabbit Hole is
I
clearly
can't wait for
it's a
Lady
third
D to
person.
chase me.
It's a
Lady D looks fucking
diorama game, so you're,
terrifying.
you're looking at the
She makes
action,
Nemesis and Mr.
happening
X look like
before
little
your eyes
bitches.
in a
Yes, Mobidden.
third-person manner.
Mobidden. Straight whiskey
but
is the
then
way
you
to
can
drink
also
whiskey.
go into first person.
I
Saying-
think
putting
when
that out there.
VR first started, the first year or two of VR titles,
The golden elixir
everyone
of
was
life,
very
Sapphire,
focused
Diamond,
on
Ruby.
how do we
Absolutely.
just how do we do a bunch of stuff that we've been doing for a long time in games? Like how do people interact with a menu? Or how do people?
But
pick up
actually,
an
in 2
object?
days, we're getting the
now
castle
we
gameplay, I
make
believe
things
is what
and-
it
and
is.
watch
I don't know. I
people
just
play
hosted the
them, and
event.
then we
I
go
don't know
back
about these
to Barbara and
demos.
say, "Why
They're
didn't that
still
work
talking
out?"
about
And
immersive
then we
reality.
put it
Oh yeah,
to
girl,
the next
we're
person.
talking about whiskey and
And
Resident
our
Evil
core
now.
development
This is the
process
Resident
one of
Evil and
just-
whiskey
this
stream.
is built around playtesting.
This has gone on
There is
far
a
too long.
sensory, aspect
Join me in
of,
this conversation about whiskey
the
and
game.
Resident Evil.
You can really
Well, I
feel
went and got
Fantastic.
myself
the
a
space,
mocktail.
Oh.
the world
Ah,
in a very different,
refreshing.
very physical way in
Melvin
VR.
says, I've never
and,
drank whiskey in my life. Wow.
What?
and especially
Never?
with the audio.
I'm not
The
going to judge you
audio,
again. But
really
you
something
might want to
so
try it,
important
unless like you don't like the
in
feeling of your
VR
throat being
because,
burned, and that's understandable.
it can make
You probably don't want to try whiskey straight off the go. I'd
that
try
are not
something mixed,
believable
like a
can
whiskey
be
sour
really
is always a good
believable
starting
with
whiskey
the
drink.
matching of the audio and the
Or a
visual.
whiskey
Your
ginger,
game,
like a Jameson and ginger
whiskey
ale.
ginger. That's a good one.
Common point.
Barry, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about some of the.
Oh, see,
the
Britt,
kind of
that's my dream
cross-pollination
trip
that you
for us
see in that
someday,
space
is to
too.
go to
My
Kentucky and do the bourbon trail like Nano's talking about.
The bourbon
the
trail.
ability to
Yeah.
create a fantasy world
It's
in
like
itself
a wine trail, but you just go to a bunch
And I
of
think that
distilleries instead.
VR itself just sort of attenuates
Say
that
no
feeling,
more.
that
We have to
feeling you get,
plan
that
a
magical
trip, a
feeling
girls'
that video
trip.
games can give
And
to
maybe,
no more.
you know, we
and
can
I
bring
think
the
a lot of the
husbands
really
and they can
successful
watch the
games in
babies,
VR
or
I was gonna say
manage
the
to do that
husbands will be
while
useful for watching the
maintaining
kids at that
feeling that
point.
this is
Yeah.
a traditional
And then we'll
game.
just
But I
go.
would say embracing the
And we'll be
fantasy
gone.
of it is
It'll
a
be
big
great.
pull.
Come back.
I think
Maybe
it's the
we
fact
won't.
that the
We'll
game
say.
is better than a flat game is what makes us want to make these games.
Certainly, quality and immersion are, I think, hallmarks.
John,
This
does
is
this go
still
down?
going. How is this
Group of
still
games that are
going?
here, but also, VR in general. It's, presence was,
You don't have
is
to
a
sit in a
often used
hotel room.
version.
You can take the babies out for
I
a
also
little
like to think of
adventure.
it as
Yeah.
inhabiting.
We'll have fun.
The not just the world, which I think is where we're at right now. The thing that I think I'm excited
No,
about
in
for the
whiskey
future, sorry,
country.
I'm jumping
Yeah.
out here. For
Come on,
VR
John, give the
is
time.
that
It's whiskey
there's an
country,
opportunity
friend.
to inhabit
It's way better than wine
people,
country.
a character.
I can say that
in
because
a way
Andrea's
that,
like not right
hasn't
here and she
really
won't punch
been
me for saying that.
experienced in games before,
But,
and I think
I would never punch
I'm
you for
excited
saying
to
that.
see where VR can take us.
Clemson Mac, thank you so much for the
beauty of all
5
of
gifted
that is
subs.
Now I get to give an award away for all the hard work that has happened within this space.
At least there's no Fortnite
So
ads.
again,
That's
thank
fair.
you all for hanging out and sharing so many wonderful thoughts. But our winner of the immersive reality game of the year for this year's D.I.C.E Awards is Half-Life Alex. Congratulations.
I'm glad that people had a lot of fun playing it. It was a lot of fun to work on it. We always joked.
Come to
inside the
Scotland and do the
company that
whiskey
was the
trail
only
here.
game that
Oh,
we'd
see,
worked
that
on, we were
sounds
more afraid to announce it
amazing.
than we would actually release it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pass. I want to go to Scotland, but I'm not a Scotch drinker.
To that announcement was, and we hoped
That smoky flavor is not my thing. Bourbon, though,
have so much fun with it.
all in. Scotch is just maybe when I'm older and I've developed my palate for it a bit more.
You're older.
Yeah.
You dork.
You know how like you don't like things when you're young and then you like them when you're older.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Can't fight that logic.
Wait, are you trying to say that I'm old, Britt?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Another
when you're older.
quiz.
Fuck, I see the difference. She's
Excellent,
got me
you
into
guys.
a corner.
We
Now I'm in a
appreciate you,
corner.
Val.
Now anything else I say,
Please
I'm just gonna
slow
dig
down with
myself
the Steam
deeper and
sales.
deeper until I'm
You know what
6
I
feet
mean?
under.
How
At
many-
that
are
point,
you
just
guys
give me a
doing this?
tombstone
You see
because I'm
something,
dead.
you buy it, you
So
put
I'm
it
just
in the
gonna
library,
zip
you
the
never play
lips and
it.
move on.
You own it
from
on
that
another
conversation.
platform, but you've got to get it because it's such a great deal.
Love
I do
you.
that every single time.
I don't just quit, said
I
Royal
have
Martin.
a library full of
I
games
did.
that I've played probably never.
Playtime 0.
Thanks, Nano. That's kind of you.
All right, so coming up, we have Fighting Game of the Year. The nominees are EA UFC 4.
Now you've already said, Andrea, that your first drink is going to be is it a rosé of some kind? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
I'm probably going to get one of my favorite rosés, which is either Whispering Angel or Miraval. Those are 2 of my faves. But I have a bunch of rosé here.
Them's Fighting
Oh yeah, your fridge is stocked. You said.
Yeah, because I got a shipment of like 2 cases of rosé to do a What's Good Wine video with like 2 weeks after I found out. And I was like,
Kombat
no.
11 Ultimate.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Ed,
I couldn't be more
congrats.
excited
This game is
about
amazing.
This year's palette
There's a
of
rosé
fighting
bourbon
games
that came
are
out?
there. I mean,
A rose
like
bourbon or what?
like Omari said,
I know there's
we have one end of the spectrum is farm animals fighting.
Is it
and
a
then we
bourbon
have
that
the-
is
the Mortal
aged in a
Kombat, and then we have
rosé
the
barrel?
most realistic,
Not that rosé is really
and then
aged in
the
barrels. It's usually aged in stainless
Grand
steel.
Blue
But
Fantasy, such a cool story of it, coming from a mobile game and becoming a really
yeah, I got
solid,
pregnant, Frostine. That's what happened.
fighter, in its own right is, like I said, just these palette of games. It's just really
Pat Winkle,
great to be
you don't know why you made this
included with
choice? You want
this group.
whiskey?
So
Well,
I congratulate everybody who worked on.
I guess you're an
the
adult
whole
if you
palette
want
of games.
some.
It's been
Yeah,
great.
have some.
Great year.
Ka, I know you've played a bunch of this. Why is it the winner?
I mean, well, you have to understand. First of all,
My pregnant
Raiden is the
fiance
best
is watching
character
the
in
stream, and
game.
now
He's
she's
always
craving
been
a
the
gin
best
and
character.
tonic.
Hashtag buff Raiden. Also,
You know, I don't know if I've
please,
ever
for the
had
love
a
of
gin and
God, let's
tonic.
ban every
What?
Scorpion player on the planet. Please remove them.
I
from
don't think I
everything
have.
that has ever
Oh my
lived,
gosh,
and
it's a
also
classic.
down
We'll
one
have to
for
get you one next time we actually go to a bar.
I yield my time.
I was going to say this.
I
man
honestly
took
don't
the
think you'll
stage
like
and
them
had
at all.
comments. Are you listening, Ed Boon? Are you listening
I
right
think
now?
Jason's kind of turned me off from them.
Congratulations,
He drank way too much
everybody
one night in
over at
college, and now ever since then he can't have
Our
gin
next
again, so
category
it's just never
is
been a
role-playing
thing that
game
anyone
of
has
the year.
ordered.
The nominees are
Oh, here we go.
Cyberpunk
RPG of the year.
2077.
LOL, Cyberpunk. LOL. That's not fair. That's not fair. Cyberpunk was a fun game. Flawed, but it was fun.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I just to me, the game was way too broken to be even nominated in this category.
Yeah.
The fact that it's nominated is to me
Persona 5
unreal.
Royal.
It's too broken.
These are all really good.
Wasteland 3.
I'm gunning for you, Final Fantasy.
My baby Yakuza, you don't stand a chance, but you were so good. You'll get there.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yakuza. Come on, Final Fantasy. This is your time.
And the winner is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
はい、ありがとうございます。数ある中から受賞したこと非常に光栄に思います。FF7 リメイク自体の展開っていうのは今後も続いていきますので、また次回作でもこの場に戻ってこれるように頑張っていきますので、はい、期待してください。今日はありがとうございます。
Chobot, does this one hit for you?
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, I also really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, just tell us about part 2. When's the next episode? Let's go.
Final Fantasy VII Remake a bit more.
You have to wait until E3 for that, Andrea.
I'm still bitter about how my
You're
first
probably
Persona 5
correct about that.
Lost my save file halfway
Britt,
through.
Sure.
The prospect of doing E3 without you makes me so sad.
I've already
Fair
told you,
enough.
girl.
But,
If during the streams, I want to
think
be
that's
there.
it.
I don't care if I have a baby sucking on my titty.
And of course,
You just have the baby with you the whole time. It'll be great.
I just have the baby, or I just
upcoming months on
interactive.org. I do
You
not
got a
want to
reason
miss
to
the
come
little
back every couple of
showcases.
weeks.
We
Like,
promise
I can't
you'll
miss them.
enjoy
I
'em.
love them too much.
Please watch
so
them.
I might be unrecognizable.
Do you want to see Ka
That's
back
okay.
next year? If you watch
gonna be
these,
fine.
they
We'll
will have
celebrate
to bring
together.
him back next year.
Heading back into our next discussion, I virtually sat down with the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition.
Let's roll the tape.
No one uses tape anymore, Greg. What are you
You
talking
should roll,
about?
then hit play. Well, you even hit. You press play. Someone is back there with an Avid or some kind of encoder. I guess they've actually already done it. This is all old, isn't it?
When you're kind of starting the process of scoring a game, what aspect of that is kind of the most important? and
Yes,
kind of
baby's
most
first
valued
E3 streams. Yes,
process
Doc.
when you're kind of
Yes.
thinking about, what this music should evoke and how it should.
Yes, Thirsty Panda, that is a good
feel
worst
like
case
each
scenario.
game
Like the
has a
time that we
kind of
put a
basic
photo
rhythm
of
and speed
Alexa
and
on our
feel to
PAX
it.
panel.
And that's the first kind of thing I'm looking for. And then when you add the art,
Or like
that-
the Steinbacher
that,
show when
like,
Andrea
adds a
was
whole
out
nother
getting her poor
different
guts
level of,
surgically altered
choices that you
when
can
Steimer
make.
froze,
Although I
or we
choose
couldn't get
my
Steimer in
instrument
there.
palette
We just put a
based
photo of
on,
her in there.
based
It
on what I'm
works.
seeing,
Oh, really? That
the rhythm and
happened?
speed and the pace
Yeah,
and the rhythm
she
of the music based
couldn't
on
get her
the
shit to work.
gameplay.
If you
So
have music in your game,
just
and
stuck a little
and
photo
for
up
me,
of her.
it, even
Hey,
like
you
a
know what?
tempo thing,
Make it work,
that's
right?
We
not
made it work.
right. It just the
Bye,
game feels
Trevor.
awkward.
Thanks for hanging.
Bye.
It really has the ability to, I feel like, slow a game down and almost create a sense of boredom, or if it's too
I feel like
fast,
this
it's
category
maybe
is
can become a little
stacked with
silly.
good nominees.
I'm kind of curious.
There's
to hear
no
from you, Austin,
clear
about the
front
initial
runner here
question
for
of
me.
What kind of aspects of that are kind of most important to the process for you two?
It's always better to be in early, and it's definitely become more normal lately. But if there is one advantage to coming in late, it's that they've
Happy
pretty well
Friday,
figured
Michael.
out what
Welcome
the
to the
game is.
stream.
And
Friday
because
Junior?
in the case of Pathos,
I was like, it's
there's
not
a lot
Friday.
of
What the fuck?
mechanics that
Okay.
Came and went, and there's a lot of
It's like we got a show to record tonight.
content of the game. that
Well,
the music was sort of
it's
wrapping itself
almost
around, and
Friday
suddenly
in certain
realized
time
that
zones.
it had Thanos, and I
What's
was
Friday
suddenly
Junior, though?
grasping
Oh,
the air,
so
there goes
Thursday.
40 minutes of music that we just
Is that like
don't
what the
need
cool kids are calling
anymore.
Thursday?
And
Friday
I don't
Junior?
mind that.
Friday
I like that
Eve?
as part of the
Okay.
process. But it's
Friday
obviously-
Junior goes. Okay, you got to explain these
just means
things.
that
It's technically Friday if you're in Australia.
take it and you take it as
Oh, wait,
it
God.
is. You just have to roll with the parameters of being there that long.
There's some really clever twists and turns within Little Orpheus.
Australia-ish.
And the music kind of plays, differently depending upon
Bye,
you know,
Game
what the player is
Troopers Elite. Thank you for hanging out.
and what's happening in the particular parts of those moments. You know, was the
Dude,
music kinda
Pokemon Snap
composed
comes
to
out in
fit
8 days, Andrea.
each one of those specific kind of gameplay sections, or was
I
it
actually
something
am
where
gonna check
it was
that
kind of a
one
general
out. You know me,
feel
I don't really
Oh,
spend a lot of
yeah.
time in Pokemon, but it's
kind of
mostly just
finesse
taking photos
those
of
other parts to
Pokemon,
go
so
along with it?
That's all.
Set pieces like the
literally all you
chases
do.
or the
Seems
next
easy.
time on thing that you get at
Sounds
the
like
end
a
of every
nice chill
episode.
game.
in
It's
the videos.
relaxing.
They were pretty set lengths. Whereas there are some other
so good.
places where, you know, it's standard kind of exploration music, the bringing in a mood and that kind of thing. Or there's moments where kind of doing both, where we're leading up to a set piece moment.
Brad, the question I want to dig in with you is more around like when you're thinking about building that tension.
I wonder how long this NFT
you know,
craze is gonna
how
last.
important is it
Yeah.
that, you know, in a game like this where combat is a huge focus of it, that you kind of are being, you know, you're bringing familiar kinds of parts.
What's up, Bren?
Did I hear that Andrea has 2 crates of wine? She needs the community to drink for her. I hear it goes bad so quickly nowadays.
Aw, Ren, you know I'd be happy to share my wine with you, but that would require you to come to California.
Really tricky because that was actually one thing that we were kind of
Road
experimenting with
trip,
even
road
early on,
trip.
was how can we make the game feel tense without just the kind of cliche more drums equals more tense. I think our composers definitely got that and did a great job of utilizing, you know, Western components like strings to create tension, but then also we had this other additional 2 really beautiful kind of unique palettes to work with, which were, you know, the traditional Japanese instruments and even some traditional Mongolian instruments.
We are now at the really, really fun part of our hanging out and our conversation is where I get to give an award away, which is always super fun. So again, thank you all for hanging with us, and the Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition Award goes to Ghosts of Tsushima. Congratulations. Congrats.
Yay.
Nicely done.
Cool. Congrats.
All credit has to go absolutely to Ume and Shigeru Umebayashi and Ilan Ishikari, our composers.
Oh, that's a bummer that the
amazing
composers
music
couldn't be
team
there to
that
accept.
Took that music and just brought it to life within our world. Pete Scaturo, Keith Leary, Andrew Baresh, I'm gonna forget some people. Nick Mastriani, Adam Kalibjian, Monty Mudd.
Yeah, the music was great.
Kelly Boynton, Bill Henstepat, Chad Cannon.
And it starred in one of my favorite clips I've ever made from a video game.
It was a huge,
your
long
penis flute.
process.
The flesh flute.
Those people
Flesh
and
flute.
more were very much involved
That's it.
for years to make it happen. So you know, I'm super proud of all of them, and thank you. It's quite an honor.
Congratulations on the win.
Heiji, I'm guessing
And now,
it will.
do you hear
Sony's
that?
been bringing a lot
Because
of their
it's time
exclusives
for a roundtable with the nominees
PC.
for Outstanding Achievement in Audio Design. I'm sorry for that transition.
With the variety of games we see nominated here, what are some of the common tenets you find across the games in this category?
I would say each of these games has an exceptional personality to them, and I think that personality is very much kind of presented sonically. You know,
Okay, so I'm going to try to see
you know, the more kind of
what we have
cartooniness
left
of
to give
Sackboy
away.
this kind of otherworldly beauty of dreams, or
Sports,
to the kind of
strategy.
gritty realness of Pilu and Ghost. They all kind of live and
Online
die
game of the
by
year.
how the audio kind of matches the
Game
gameplay,
direction,
the tone,
right?
the feel.
Yeah,
Game of
game
the year.
I'm kinda
direction.
curious to
Obviously,
hear
game
your
of the
thoughts
year.
about that,
They
Rob,
always say
about,
for
you know,
last.
Thinking about
Yeah.
not only these games, but the game that you worked on, the kind
That's
of
it?
you know,
Family game.
breadth and depth of the complexity of kind of how do you make sure
Did they
that
do
everything
technical
gets its due?
achievement?
The best audio is often the
Did
stuff
they?
you don't
I don't
notice.
think so.
It's the stuff that just makes it feel
Outstanding
right.
technical
that
achievement.
feeling
No, I don't think
of,
so.
of immersion.
Have they done art
often
direction?
from audio and from sound?
They haven't done art direction or animation yet, have
music
they?
Obviously, is a huge part of the emotional component of things.
And
and
girl,
games
I don't
have
think
a
so.
challenge with
Happened
music
5
in
minutes
that
ago.
We're trying to pull the emotional
ask me to
heartstrings
remember
when
shit that happened
Let me
an
go
hour
the
ago.
player has
let me go to the
almost
DICE
control
Twitter
of
because I think they're
what's going on
live
in the
tweeting all
game.
the
So
winners.
That presents unique challenges across the board, and you know, as technology evolves,
Hello,
you get more tools to
John,
play
just
with.
go for the ride.
Speaking of unique challenges, this one is
Lock
for
in
you,
another
Tom.
hour.
How do
Yeah,
you gauge
dude, this is
success
taking
of your audio
this is
design
taking
with
a
such a
long-ass
complex
time.
system made for all kinds of creators.
So I think we
Thanks
just
for the
made
gifted
ourselves
sub,
the first
Danny.
customers of it,
Lightning and blasting.
because I think that's the
I think with all of us, that's the gauge. First of all, you satisfy yourself first, because otherwise
It'll
your
be
own
Friday for everyone by
sort
the
of
time it's
creative
over.
compass
says
is
Toby Blue.
not aligned. But then also we spent a lot of time like giving it to people who, as I've just said, who literally have no idea what to do. And I think it's a very tricky balance. It's been a tricky balance, but I hope people get an enjoyment out of it that they haven't previously
forgot about
expected.
Sackboy: Big Adventure.
I'm kind of curious about that in terms of
I started that, and it was really
the work
fun.
that you've done,
It was really
Jay,
cute.
with
And I just-
Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
forgot
you
all
know,
about it.
you all used a host of kind of subtle sound
Toby
effects
Blue
that-
will be
that
Friday
also
for
kind of
everybody
create
by the
haptic
time this is
feedback.
over.
I'm curious about what the design philosophy behind that audio kind of helps players navigate and succeed in their adventures that they kind of gone through in that game.
It's
Time
kind
to
of funny
multitask
actually
and
because
play a game while
coming
watching.
off of
Says
previous
pants.
Little Big Planets, we've kind of gone the other way.
Could start the show
Having to
notes.
focus on creating
But no, I'll
sound
give you all my
effects that the
undivided
players can use
attention.
in their own creations. To, in this one, being the first opportunity to actually, basically create bespoke sound effects throughout the entire game. In terms of design philosophy, I guess there was a big focus really on how we can bring a level of harmony to
Danny,
the
you're still
experience.
playing Outriders. Are you doing endgame content,
A
or are
key
you
part of
doing
that
campaign
being
stuff?
that we really wanted to look at ways in which we could integrate sound effects.
I just got
much
to
more
World Tier
closely with
9
the
and it's
music.
kicking my ass.
Christopher,
I've been playing
I'm
with
really
Joey
interested to hear,
and
your
Lauren, and I
thoughts
told them
around
that
Ori,
you and Jason are at World Tier 14, and they were
since
like,
that game has such a unique
what?
look
We
how
got to
it kind of
15
presents itself. How
with
does the kind of
probably like
audio design bring
25%
more
of the game to go.
dimension,
And it wasn't too bad.
to
Jason
such a really
somehow
beautiful
managed to build a tank pyromancer.
There is a lot
I
of
don't know how
dimension
he did it,
to the game,
but
to
he
the-
did,
to
and
the
he just
depth of
carried
the
us
art
like the
and
whole game.
the
But
graphics.
then we
I
got
mean,
to the
it's just
final fight,
phenomenal
and we had to
looking.
bump it down to like
But
World Tier like 5.
in its gameplay,
It was
it's
just way
essentially a
too difficult.
2D game. It's
But this thing
it's
is
a
gonna show a
side
lot of
scroller,
things
or
fun,
it's
too.
side and
Nice.
up
So
and
yeah,
down.
it tears you a new butthole.
So we actually did take advantage of the benefits of
You know
spatial
what silly
audio,
game I did
which,
start and finish
allows
though
us
this
to
week,
actually
Andrea?
add a
Subs the Zombie.
a depth.
Oh,
we
you
could
did
actually
end up
kind of
playing
create
it.
the-
I did end
the
up
Z
playing it, and I
dimension,
loved it.
and,
It's so
we could sort of,
dumb, but it knows
surround the
it's dumb,
player,
and it leans into its
with,
dumbness, and it just works out.
A lot of details that you
It
don't
was a
necessarily
blast.
see.
I
and
can't
you
wait to
don't
hear you
like
talk
kind
about
of
it on the
need to
show.
see.
Yeah.
It is now time to give away our award, and the D.I.C.E award for outstanding achievement in audio design goes to
Ori.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Dang.
Congratulations!
Congrats.
Congratulations!
But also a great
congratulations.
game.
Jeez, wow. That's a huge honor, and again, especially to be nominated among all these people. I will say until I'm blue in the face that this was absolutely a tremendous team effort. Both the Sucker Punch audio team, the Sony
I want
sound
a
design team,
sequel to
Sony
Ghost.
Music and dialogue
Give me a
teams,
sequel.
our external
It's
partners
really
at
good.
Luminaire who did our cinematics, our QA team, and everybody at Sucker Punch as well, because we've got a really great team there, and I have bribed them.
I wouldn't
into
say they got
listening,
robbed. This
for
game is
audio and
also
giving
very
feedback
excellent.
about audio, and so it's just such a tremendous achievement for all of us.
Lots
and,
of great nominees this year.
Good music, good sound, good. Ghost of Tsushima. How was that? Do we like that one better?
I like that.
Okay, good. We'll take it.
Boo,
Before
Greg,
we keep
boo.
going,
Come
I just
on.
want to take a second to again remind everyone that the full roundtable discussions will be posted on interactive.org soon. You're going to want to watch them, right, Ka?
Yeah, gotta watch it. A lot of me, a lot of people, a lot of stuff.
That's 100% why you want to watch it.
Oh.
Watch
No,
it, yeah.
not
Exactly.
me.
Yeah.
Not me.
No, whatever.
Exosodities,
And
I'm with
now,
you. I want Ori to
time
win
get
something
back
too,
into
but
the
I don't know if they
awards
will.
with Racing Game of the Year. We wanted to talk to them more, but they kept rubber banding and getting too far ahead.
Oh, boo. Come on, Greg.
The nominees are Dirt 5,
Garnet Lee, welcome to the chat. Is that Swedish you got there?
2020.
You know I don't read Swedish, right, Garnet?
I just love that Mario Kart Live is a part of this racing category, which I get. It's a racing game. But it's just so silly.
Mario Kart Live,
Garnet, how is your potato podcast going? I don't mean that as an insult. He literally has potato in
winner
the name of the
is
podcast.
Mario Kart Live.
Of course, very, very different games. Mario Kart Live is a strange category of its own. But I do want to call out both the development team at NCL, the
and the team at Velen Studios who just
Go
did an amazing job on
Mario!
this.
Mario!
Director Dan Doppus, and the producers
Arceus,
Mr.
wait,
Moore
what
and
the
Mr.
fuck?
Matsunaga and Nicholas
I don't know how this game got nominated for
project.
Racing Game of the Year.
I think,
Let alone
you know,
winning.
We're just really happy to see people enjoying it. Really happy to see the component that really is the most important part of this game, which is the user. making
Was the
choices in their
competition
homes.
so slim that they're like, why don't we just throw this in there for funsies?
Otherwise, it
creating
would have been
playgrounds
Dirt
in their own
5
places.
from 2020,
Really,
and that was it.
really thankful for this award. And, happy to see people having fun with the game.
You turned our homes into a video game level, and we salute you for it. You know, Jess, did you play this?
Wait, that one?
Yes, Andrea, that one. I was saying.
What?
Yeah,
That's what I was
Did you have fun
saying.
with it? Did he have fun with it?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. You know, that's cool.
We are
Wasn't
proud
my
to
pick, but that's
present
all right.
Sports Game of the Year. The nominees are
Benjamin, you know that I'm with you.
EA Sports FIFA 21.
Destiny gets overlooked all the time, particularly in the online category
MLB
or in
Show
the
20.
games of service category. And it's unfair because I think what a lot of games have shown us, like look at Outriders, for
NBA
example, is that
2K21.
doing co-op online connectivity is hard. And Destiny does it so freaking well. Even like Call of Duty
Tour
struggles
2K21.
with it.
Everyone's on the online struggle bus.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
I think this game has a really good shot at winning. It was really popular when it came out.
And the winner is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah, thanks so much. I mean, it really is an honor for
you
me to
go.
be able to represent like
Good
all
job,
of the
Tony
developers
Hawk.
across the company who work on the title. You know, they're
Curly in
amazingly
2021
talented,
was
and they
robbed.
applied that talent like so passionately to this game. You know, they really deserve all of the
Pooh
thanks that I can
Skater. What do you got against Tony Hawk, Arcstar?
across the board, everyone involved in the title. You know, I think it's worth calling out Tony Hawk as well. I mean, the game wouldn't be what it is without
I don't know
Tony.
why that's so funny.
His feedback and attention to detail.
I do like how Cameron here has fairy
It's
lights
really
in his
important. It
background,
makes
though.
it makes a big difference.
That's a nice touch, Cameron.
You know, again, big thanks to the original skaters, the new skaters.
I love it, just
It wouldn't be
joking.
this game without them. They're all such incredible athletes. And
Yeah.
then finally, and this, I'm sure you guys all know this, you know, but I want to say
Good
it's
job.
really important. A special
was
thanks to the
pre-recorded.
family and the friends and the fans of the teams. You know, it's so like the level of support and encouragement that the developers get from people around them.
So it's like
it's
what,
unseen. But
1,000?
it's so
It's
critical.
11:09
And so I just wanted
on the
to
West
make
Coast.
that point as well. So huge thanks to the team.
I
huge
know.
thanks
Like,
to
listen,
the
I got my mock Mosa here.
Back the nostalgia
I have
swept
Bloody
over
Mary mix
everyone.
too, but
Tim Geddes still won't shut up about this.
I'm gonna be
sadly,
honest,
tomato
I
juice
kind
is
of
really
went
making
down
my
through
heartburn
all-
flare
I
these
felt
days.
Like I was in math
Oh,
class
girl.
with all those numbers, and I was just like,
Well, if you divide the square root
had
of
to say goodbye to my-
2K21
What
plus
is
1 plus
happening?
2, you're like, what's going on? I don't even
The
know.
award goes to the Pythagorean theorem.
Our next nominee discussion
Are you
is
still
for
playing Cozy Grove?
outstanding technical
Sinam says,
achievement.
Andrea, how
Roll
is
the
your
tape.
Cozy Grove?
The games you've all built are extremely technical in the way that they
I've
have been
kind
built and the way
of
that they kind of work.
neglected it
Sebastian,
for a
I'm
couple
really
of
curious
days.
about that, especially for a game like yours.
Because
What
I
were some of the things
got
that you were
upset
kind of
that
the
they
most
like put all these
excited to
artificial
tackle from a
roadblocks in
technical
intentionally.
It's the first
I
time
don't
at
like
Asobo
that.
that we did a game where
I,
you don't invent something.
I
you
got
have to
kind of
just look
bored
at
of it,
things, or
honestly.
you look
Made
at
me
clouds,
sad. I
or you
really
look at
enjoyed like the
rain
2 or
or
3
stuff
weeks
like
I
that.
played of it, but at the end I was like,
And,
okay, every
we
day
spend a
we
lot of
got
time
find
also
things,
flying, right? And
go
understand how
find things for
plane flies
people,
and-
then stop
and
playing. It
all
it wasn't
all the living things.
different enough, and I
They didn't give me enough ways to chase the things I needed, like a bigger inventory or fishing and all that. I just got frustrated, and I was like, I don't want to keep coming back and feeling frustrated.
Flying is something that teach pilots.
Yeah.
Is to be
I like to
humble and
hoard
that you
all my
always
shit in
learn.
game, and as
You're
time we
never
were here,
done
she'd say, "Oh, you're a
discovering
hoarder
new
in real
things.
life."
David, what have been some
but
of the
in the
things
game,
that have really
Cozy
surprised
Grove,
you from a
I wanted to
technical
keep
standpoint?
all of my
I
potatoes
was
and all of my
surprised that
eggs
I
and
would
all of my
keep seeing
fish.
things that I didn't realise
Do
were
it, and I
made
felt bad. I
in
didn't want to throw it
dreams.
away.
And I'd have to check. And I thought, okay, now I've recalibrated. Like, yeah, there's this trick they've figured where they can abuse the font renderer thing to do a thing effects. Okay. And then there's another
I
thing
think
that
Dreams
people
has a
figured
good
out.
shot at
So, yeah, so just being-
winning this category
it's
just
reached a level of
from the
sophistication
amazing tools that they put
I could be kind of
into
rewarded.
the
It's like, have
game.
this return on investment. where
I'd like to see them win.
Our community are making things that can truly surprise me and truly like make me really want to play them.
What were some of the kind of biggest achievements that you were kind of able to kind of get into?
Garnet, I'm with
in
you.
comparison to the first game.
We did so much stuff.
But there's
in Last
some
of Us
other cool
2
stuff happening
on
in
the
some of
AI
these
front,
games.
on making the enemies react in a more dynamic way. And
What was Xbox's
having
version
them
of Dreams?
Understand the space that they lived in.
What was it called, Nana?
and
What are you
really,
talking about?
Like giving them just some personality,
Yeah,
which
I
we'd
don't know what he's
never,
talking about.
which we'd always wanted to do, and we tried to do. We've done some of
Project Spar, dude, I totally forgot about that.
I'm also extremely proud of the
That's
work
right.
the team did for accessibility. I think that was something that we pushed, or a couple of our team members were really adamant about it. Got
Mario
the studio on board. I mean, we did that.
Britt, no.
For the other games too, but really.
Whenever I
took it
heard
to a
Cause
new
say it, I
level
have to
for
say it.
Last of Us Part
I have
2.
to, Andrea.
Mario Kart
The thing's-
Live.
it's
Where did the inspiration come from to do that?
Overcoming the actual individual technical hurdles, I'm sure, is a story in its own
Yeah,
right.
Agent 47,
talk
that's an
about
interesting
UGC,
idea. I'm actually
this
kind of
is
surprised they haven't
people's
pushed for a
homes.
PC
You know, or the
port yet.
UGC.
Maybe
I
they're
remember
working on
personally
it.
Bringing
Okay, I have to
one
open
of the
some
cars
windows
home
up in
and,
this
and
stuffy ass
measuring the
bitch room.
shag
Hold
on
on.
my carpet. You know, it's like things that you don't really expect to do. You know, in software development.
What was your approach to, putting all these systems in, having them work so well together, and then having that be the package that we wind up getting when we got a chance to play it?
Did want the world to be beautiful. That was actually important for us. Japan's a beautiful place. And you
This
really
game
wanted to be
definitely
able to
wins for
capture
like
that.
most particle effects
It
on
adds this
screen.
sort of,
it's just like
tension, that you've got
leaves,
this really ugly
petals,
story that's happening on top of this really beautiful
blowing in the
backdrop.
wind.
bugs,
and keeping that
anything that can
balance
float
through
in the
the
air.
whole
We're going to
game
put it on
was a
screen all at
challenge for
once.
us. That it wasn't too pretty and it wasn't too
Floating
grim, that you always had that juxtaposition. And making that work then, lots of tech, right? So it's lots of
really pretty.
particles and wind and, all kinds of stuff that's happening so that you can have that level of beauty and still have it be an open world game, right? Where you can go anywhere and do anything. You have these
Yeah.
massive sight lines
I
everywhere.
think a lot of people don't
you
understand just how
had to
complicated
reinvent
that
a
is
lot
to
of
do
stuff
on
to
like a
make that
back
work
end from a
after
game design
doing
perspective.
open
So
world games that weren't as big.
just so pretty though.
You and the team and everyone in this room has made some bangers
Prettiest
of
shooter.
games
Yep,
this
Garnet,
year
they would
and-
win that
and-
for
and
sure.
have made some fantastic pieces.
Even
of
though
art.
some of the new
And I get the
Destiny
pleasure
content is
of
giving them a
giving
run for their
away an
money.
award to talk about and recognize that.
Just pretty in a different way, in a
we
space way.
Are going to give away our D.I.C.E award
I'm
for
rooting for the
outstanding
dreams in
technical
this one.
achievement.
I mean, Dreams has got to win,
And the winner
right?
Is Dreams.
Yes. There we go.
Congrats.
Good job, Dreams.
Wow, the thing I've loved from this conversation is how whenever we're talking about technology, we're talking about the vision that technology is empowering. That's what's super exciting. That's why games are so wonderful. It's a collision of the whimsy of art and the science and the maths kind of colliding together to make something greater. I'm just proud to be able to stand virtually in a room with these people who have all done amazing things, and I'm proud of the amazing things that my team have done, the many years of toil. So yes, thank you. This is cool.
Listen, Microsoft Flight Simulator had some really cool tech. For
All right,
sure.
let's keep the show in motion.
But they built that tech on the backs of other people's tech.
Please, no more puns.
So I appreciate you giving them credit because what they did was cool, but they didn't build that from scratch, from the ground up. They used other people's technology for that, whereas Media Molecule created Dreams out of
you
nothing.
developed and landed on the style of animation that makes your game unique.
中でのこう新しい作品っていうところで、昔の特徴っていうのを、クラブたちの動きっていうのを参考にもしつつ、そのままだとやっぱりこうなんですかね、新しい新鮮作がないと思うんで、今回の今の現代の表現の中で、さらにその新鮮な
I swear they still have the best hair animation. Hair is hard to animate.
すごいフォトリアルな完全なフォトリアルで
Okay,
は
any
なくて、
ponytail that came out last generation.
まあちょっ
You'll
と
see what we're talking about, man.
リアルな
It's like it
頭
has,
身
it's
だし
possessed
リア
by
ル
a
な
ghost.
キャ
Let me see go
キャ
get
ラク
erect.
ターなんだけれども、どちらかというとその完全なリアルではなく、若干アニメ的な要素というか、
We wanted to make sure that Miles felt authentic and felt different from Peter. And
This
bringing
is
in
such a
this
hard
character that
category
isn't as
because
experienced
all of
just
these games
creates
like just
a
are so
a new
beautiful.
style of animation that a lot of times we
Any
don't
of
see
these
in
games could win
where
because
the
like
character feels
the animation in this game was
inexperienced
also
and through his actions, through
phenomenal.
gameplay and through
This is where
cinematics,
Ori will win.
you can feel the
Ori wins
sense
something.
of
I would love
trying
Ori to
learn
win this
as he
category, but
goes
they
and
won't.
feeling the insecurities, whether he's doing a venom punch and he has the reaction that it affects him, it hurts his hand when he does these things.
We really try to push like the squash and stretch throughout the game, and it's not squash and stretch isn't something that you see in a lot of video games, and I think part of that is because it's really difficult to do because you need to be able to.
That's Smiley Raven. You know, Final Fantasy VII is amazing looking because it makes me feel inadequate.
Transitions and like the characters and like the phrase and stretch pose. It's complicated to do.
You
but
said that your hair can't do
I
all
think
those amazing
Ori
things.
as a character is like
Nobody's hair
really
moves
good
like that
design for
IRL.
because
Come on.
It's a simple.
It's like they're
it's a simple
constantly in a
design.
light
It's kind of
breeze.
Like a big head,
I know, it's so
pear-shaped
great,
body,
though.
blonde
But it like
hair,
never
long
gets
tail,
caught in their
got
lip
some-
gloss or
So
like in
for
their
us,
eyelashes
really kind
or
of
on their
pushing
whiskers or
never gets
anything.
the
frizzy.
groundedness and
Yep.
the
Perfect all the
realism
time.
of the animation was a big goal that we had.
It's also
We can dream
like that
excess
style
oddities.
benefits the story, like to just make the players immerse and make sure they identify with the
I mean, this
characters
game
you're
also
playing. But
beautiful.
it also creates
yeah.
like a huge
Like you said, I think all of
challenge
these are
with
deserving.
design where
This
like,
is a
you have
tough
all these
category.
grounded animations, all the realistic style, but you still have to marry it with like the design and the responsiveness.
Alexander, I'd love to ask you, could you talk a little bit about the studio's inspiration and the unique animation in the game, and how did you go about accomplishing
Raul, that's
your
an interesting
In terms of
point.
animation, we try to go with what comes to us naturally.
Art direction and
that is
animation, though, as you
informed by
mentioned,
so
are
many
like
things,
very, very
that
different
inspired
things.
us throughout the years, like Ghibli, of course. A lot of
Fair,
movies,
fair. Let's see to
comics,
get a nod.
video games, both 3D and 2D. If we're speaking about the process through which we make our animations, although
They should just give
we
the
do
award to
some
Crazy
traditional
Taxi.
frame-by-frame animation, we also use tools like 2D rigs. and
So
cameras
everyone can be equally
throughout our
disappointed. That's
animation
not a
process.
bad point, though.
In that sense, we're more inspired by TV shows like Hilda on Netflix.
Now's the best time of the conversation where I get to give away our D.I.C.E award. Again,
Honestly,
thank
I have
you
no
all
idea
for
who's gonna
being
win
a
this.
Part of this and for spending some time with us today. Our D.I.C.E award
I feel like the
for the
easy choice would be The
outstanding
Last of Us.
achievement in animation for this year goes to The Last of Us 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
Just to point out, it's just an extraordinary honor to be recognized by our peers. This award means just a special amount because of that. It's, just all our fellow nominees. You guys are incredible. We're huge fans of your work. Making games is hard. I think we all, in our own way, in all our own styles, like really understand that.
Ooh, I like his background.
None of it would be possible without
Good
the passion
plant
and dedication
game.
of so many different
Got the
people.
pop of light.
For us, our co-presidents, Evan Wells and Neil Druckmann, the trust
Right,
that
Heiji?
you've given us, the
Jeremy's room
opportunity
does
to give
look
us to
dope.
push boundaries is so appreciated.
It's
My
almost like an
co-pilots,
animation director
Aldana,
understands
Eric
about
McCall,
the importance of
couldn't
lighting.
ask for better partners. And to our animation team at Naughty Dog and D.I.C.E.
He could use a little bit more fill light, but overall, really good. Really good job, Jeremy.
And just
Britt, we should have just made a whole show of just rating everybody's
all
background.
work together to just allow
You know,
us to,
that
to
would
do
have
this
been
kind of thing.
entertaining. I would
And
not
to
oppose, so
our
we can
Last
start
of Us
right now.
community who have our
James,
backs
on the
and
other
encourage us
hand, just
along
in a
the
dark
way
room,
afterwards.
being lit by his monitor.
You're who we do all this.
Great work, although I will tell you one thing. The Last of Us 2 animated my tear ducts.
Leave those kind of jokes to me. All right, just let me look like the moron out here. All right, you say no more of it. A sad game indeed. We're only a handful of awards away from the end of the show, and we've got some amazing people to talk to, including the nominees for
Okay, art
Outstanding Achievement in Art
direction.
Direction.
Jason, I'm kind of curious about that from your perspective. What are some of the tools and talents you kind of brought to that space to make this very, very special game?
One of our goals early on was also not to be just completely realistic. You know, we played around with, you know, photogrammetry and stuff like that. And in the end,
This is another tough
for us and
category.
For our game, we wanted a little bit.
So we have Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, The Last of Us Part 2,
instead of,
Miles
you know,
Morales,
representing
and
a
Ori and the
fern
Will
forest
of the Wisps.
with, you know, ferns and
I
grass
think this
and
is the
weeds
one
and trees
category
that are
where
dead and
Ori
trees that
has
are alive.
shot,
How
but
about we just
won't
do
overcome
a
Hades
dominant
or Ghost of
species just
Tsushima.
ferns, you know?
The art direction
Really,
in this
really
game
bright,
alone is
vibrant
like
greens, so people
phenomenal.
remember the fern place. First playable, you know, that we shared with our.
But I feel like
Japanese
Hades
colleagues,
has
were
a
like,
chance to
the game is not
win
green
this.
enough. They're like, it needs to be more green. And you know, then I looked back and I was like, oh yeah, it's just like, it doesn't have as much vibrancy as you would imagine. And, you know, and therefore, you know, you look at the game now, it's incredibly lush and rich. And so I certainly thank them for that.
Is it the sweater?
Daniel, I'm kind of curious when it comes to the art and animation.
Remake,
within
remodel?
Ori
Is that why you think Jason
and
looks
how
like a
well
guy
those
from Tony
parts kinda
Hawk?
complement the game so well. You know, I'm sure it must have presented some challenges from an art perspective.
We actually had a pretty fresh perspective on like, okay, what do we want to do with these IP? How do we want to take the game forward? And we brought these new perspectives.
One of the goals was that we wanted, if you took a screenshot of Blind Forest and a screenshot of Will of the Wisps and put them side by side, that
Chester, that's what you're
you can
going
tell
with?
the difference.
Ghost?
And I think that the lighting really comes through.
Put in
on
your
that.
bets now, friends.
You know, a lot of
Interesting,
times,
Garnet.
Tech team might not get.
It's
all
okay to not
credit
like the
they
art
deserve
style. It's,
for
I mean,
what goes into,
you know, Supergiant has
you know,
obviously
making
done
art
that
for the
style
game, but,
before. Is that
you know,
just
we
something
had
that kind
a
of
vision for what we wanted to do, and
comic book
they-
hand-drawn
they
style is
found
just
a
not
way
your
to make
thing?
it happen.
Jason, I'm curious as well. You know, I'm sure you had kind of similar challenges between.
Oh,
you
you're
know,
talking
Miles
about
Morales
Jason
and the
Connell.
previous
I'm
game.
looking at Jason Hickey
what were
right
some of the
below him.
challenges there of
I didn't realize that there were two Jasons.
There's two Jasons. I was also super lost on that, but you know, okay, that makes it more
So
sense.
we wanted to create a home, which was going to be Harlem, Spanish Harlem, El Barrio, whatever.
So Ghost,
you wanna call it.
Hades, hands
But
down.
in order to really capitalize on that, we wanted to make
Final
sure
Fantasy
that
VII
there was the
remake
opposite
textures.
of his
They're
home.
not nominated,
So there
friend.
was
They had
places
great
that are in
textures, but the textures
That's really been
would
my-
not fall
my
under
focus
art
on this
direction. That would
project,
also
trying to
fall
make
under
the most
animation.
Outstanding
memorable
achievement in
characters on
textures.
PS5.
That can be a category next
Jen, I'm
year.
kind of curious too about, you know, where did you all kind of come up with the inspiration for how you wanted the underworld of Hades to look?
So it was really important to us actually for this game that we make sure to stay close to the source material, but not so close that we felt too creatively restricted. We wanted it instantly recognizable, but with a twist. Like, it was the first time we had this huge body of creative work that we could borrow from. And that was such a lubricant to our creative process. It was so refreshing.
See, now Jen's
That's a
background
perfect
a little
segue
too
to Eric
busy.
to ask about
Probably should find a
hands-on
corner
aspects.
and
Our
not just be in the
goal
middle of the
for
great
game
room.
was to create like this
Dogs could
seamless,
walk through there.
cinematic
Kids could walk
experience,
through there. I can
that
see what's on your
Dogs okay.
kitchen
very,
counter.
natural and
Busy.
and believable. So you know, we
This is just a little show within a
rely
show.
heavily
I feel like
on
Andrea needs your
natural
own like
lighting, so we
HGTV show
referred
where you
to
like
a lot of the films that we like.
Where I just rate people's Zoom backgrounds.
That would immerse the players. Or the
surprise Zoom
viewers.
makeover.
I get to do my favorite part of the show now, which is give away an award. That's going to be super, super fun. Our DICE award winner for the outstanding achievement in art direction goes to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Congratulations.
No surprise there.
I'm with you, Benjamin. Dogs can walk through there, instant +1 vote. Yep.
You know, I'm looking in this room, and I'm just super honored to even be in the room, let alone you know, blown away by winning it. You know,
Empty room with a
working
lamp
on this
on the
game
floor.
has been one of the most.
I mean, the
prideful
costumes
moments of my
alone in
career.
this
You know,
game
I've learned
are
a
worth
lot,
a
and I
win.
get to work with some of the most talented.
I
people
loved the
at
costumes
Sucker
in this
Punch
game.
and all of our new colleagues in Japan and all our consultants that helped us. You know,
So
I too also value lighting. I
This
did
is so
lighting
beefy.
for 10 years.
I would love to play through
It's
it
one of
again.
my. I just think that it's.
I am
getting the
pleasantly
atmosphere and the lighting
surprised
right
that
in the game is so
Tilu isn't
important,
sweeping.
and I worked with our team to really nail this, and I just feel really fortunate to be at this point in the industry.
You're
and that
voted, man. You're
Ghost is
voted.
enjoyed by so many people. So thank you for organizing this.
Raul,
and
that
super
I
appreciate
remember
this
other
award.
people saying that as well.
Yet
But remember, this was
another win
Japan
for
like
Sucker
many,
Punch and
many,
Ghost of
many years
Tsushima.
ago.
Congratulations.
Not to say that Japan isn't beautiful today, because obviously it is.
I want to give out
this
two
is
more
family. I
quick
thought it was
awards.
online
The
game.
first is
Oh.
the Family Game of the Year.
You got me all hyped up, Britt.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Now this could win family game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was online.
And it probably will.
Playroom.
Even though Astro's Playroom was chef's kiss.
Dreams. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
I mean, if Fall Guys was going to win an award, this would be the one.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
All right, let's see.
And the winner is Animal Crossing New
Yay.
Horizons.
On behalf of the Animal Crossing team, especially
That's good.
Aya Kyogoku, who directed the game, and Hisashi Nagano.
Animalbiologist. How is Fall Guys a family game? That game ruins
deep
friendships.
gratitude
Yeah.
from across the pond in
Family
Japan,
fight game. It's like trying to play
all these
Overcooked
years.
with your
They are
family.
Extremely
Oh, don't do. Oh, yeah, no.
grateful for not only the attention, but just to continue to hear stories of, families playing together.
I am glad that summer is
especially
back
sometimes families who
in
aren't
Animal
physically
Crossing.
together
Well,
and
spring.
have been separated over the past year. And
I thought you were
being
talking, like,
able to
in
come
real
together
life,
over
and I was
this
like, yes,
game,
me too.
It's been really, really enormously gratifying.
I mean,
yeah, in Animal Crossing.
IRL, of
From the
course.
team, thank you very, very much.
But here in California,
Excellent
the
win.
seasons don't really
You guys
change
got
that
me
much.
through the first half of the
You guys got
pandemic.
snow over there, Garnet?
I think it got everyone.
I've been
through
seeing
the
photos
first
of
half
snow.
the pandemic, right? Being able to go there and trade on the stock market, everybody had a great time. Congratulations.
Well, you're pretty far north up there, so.
All right, next is the award for Strategy/Simulation Game of the Year. The nominees for this are Crusader Kings 3,
Now, this is a genre I spent so much time with when I was younger that I just do not commit to now.
Yeah, you're out of it.
Yeah.
Let me to prove- Yeah.
Even though I did play some of Desperados and enjoyed it.
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I mean, this game's got to win, right?
You think? So it was like the only way you could get in an airplane safely.
Monster Train.
It's true.
I miss airplanes. I never thought I would say that. But
I know. Those little packs of pretzels.
Mm.
Those little bottles of whiskey.
Yeah.
And the winner is Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Shocking no
that's
one.
first out
Pretend
very
you're actually
humbling.
traveling.
Maybe a shout out to our community. Like we oftentimes say, this is, at Microsoft, this series predates Windows and Office. It's been 38 years, and the audience is amazing. They know more than we do, and they share it freely with us every day. And it's been a fantastic journey of.
I'm sure they
discovery
share more
together,
than just their
and
knowledge.
we all
They
want
share
and
their
hope to work on
not
this
so
for a
great
long, long
opinions.
time to make this into the perfect sim, the perfect flight sim. So, thank you, David.
Yeah, really. I'm just to mention.
That's a great question, Danny. I don't know why.
You guys just said it's true for the community and
Probably
sometimes
because
people
Microsoft wants it on their
even
own
real
cloud
life
platform
pilot
and not
everyone who has
Google's.
help. Because again,
Just a thought.
The sim is so complex and so vast in different areas that it's impossible
Thanks,
for a single
Boomer
human
1792.
to know everything. It's even the case in real life too. So
We appreciate
we did
that.
this thanks to the community, and it includes also the real life pilot.
Nanobiologists, I think what they mean is that it's also built on Google
and
Maps.
as instructors,
and Google
and
satellite
all those
images.
people who have been passionate in order
Because
to
Google kind of,
try
you
to
know,
teach
has
us
the
what
monopoly
it
on
is
those.
to be in the sim. And also a big thank you to the former team of Flight Sim, because they made the
Bing Maps?
the
Is it really
foundation
called
of
Bing Maps? I
everything
thought that was a joke.
initially, and we are here today because of them initially. So thank you to you guys.
Jess, I know you were a big fan.
I do. I enjoy that quite a bit. It's gorgeous.
Microsoft Maps? What's the
yeah.
official
Again,
name
like you were
here?
talking
Now I have to
about
look this up.
Autopilot,
Is
right?
it
Yeah,
Microsoft
I'm
Maps or
curious.
Bing Maps?
I think Bing Maps is it.
So it's just like
Bing
you're like
mistake.
Tony Stark. You're in your private jet looking at it the whole time. All right, I agree.
Just hanging out in the sky. Congratulations to the team at Asobo, and congratulations to all the nominees. Now let's move on to the next room.
Okay, it is
Before we
Bing
do,
Maps.
don't forget
Bing
to
Maps is
check
the
out
official name.
interactive.org for links
Wow,
to
that's
full
a choice.
conversations on any of these rooms.
Thanks, what
the complete
could
recordings are
be
scheduled to be
subscribing?
released
Sorry,
over
took
the
me a hot
coming
minute to read
months
your name.
and justify why Ka had to spend the last 3 months in his
Here we go.
basement.
All right,
Ask
back to the
Jeeves,
script with another great
dude.
roundtable. This time, it's with
Real
the
talk.
nominees
The first
for
question I
Online
ever
Game
asked
of the Year.
Jeeves was how many
There have
toilets
been
there are in the
other
world.
What was the answer?
You know,
It was a
what
lot. I don't know,
your
Andrea. I
approach
was like 10
to
years old.
Connective that made this experience different.
I
for the
love
player?
it.
So
Thanks,
so
Garnet, for
it's
the sub.
best to make our main multiplayer mode non-competitive. So then, as a result, we made a
Key essence is today I also learned Big Maps is real.
And this mode
That's a
enables the
choice.
players playing board, enables the players board to combine or to connect
Big
it
Maps.
into
I
one.
just can't take anything seriously.
To our delight,
Bing.
it worked really well.
Thanks, Mellow
Players
Griffin,
loved this
for
mode.
gifting those
That's
10
super
tier
good
1
news.
subs.
David, where do you see the online
Amazing.
space
Thanks,
going
Mellow
for Call of
Griffin. And thanks,
Call of Duty
Crispy
is such a massive audience
Oglop.
that we can't create enough online content to keep people
Crispy Oglop?
satisfied. So you've got
Crispy
competitive multiplayer experience.
Oh,
art
Oglop.
experience,
Oglop. Oh, that's the little
co-op
Oglop from Final
experiences,
Fantasy.
in our case,
I'm
with the
sorry, you're
Zombies
crispy. Someone
universe.
must have been trying to
Animal
eat you.
Crossing
Oh.
feels like its own metaverse at this point.
Well, my Alexa has something to say.
Oh, I was like, what is
where
that?
you kind of see things moving in the online spaces moving forward. And
Alexa,
do you think that that's going to be the thing that's going to wind up being the
We got a level 4
kind of
hype
more
train going, you guys. This is
We're
exciting.
going to see more metaverse experiences in that way.
The experience of Animal Crossing from conception, from the very first game, was about.
Oh my gosh,
communication,
did Khalif
about
just
communication.
say that Animal
People,
Crossing is a
your
metaverse
communication
experience?
between you and
Oh my
animals in
god.
your village.
I mean, it kind
and
of
in many
is. He's
ways,
not wrong,
I
but
think that we're getting closer and closer to what its true final form should be, which is something that has a nice virtuous
yes,
loop of
Garnet,
gameplay
get with the
between single player
emotes.
and multiplayer. Whatever you're doing, there's
Hey, Squeaky Moose, the
you're getting
award
a
show has
benefit
been a little
but then you're going back and
slow.
spending a ton of time back on your own in the single player component to then feed back into the loop of having other people come over.
Joseph, I'm curious to know what the process is to continuously come up with new gameplay for your community.
Like the quicker that feedback process can be with the community, the better. And I think we're in a really unique place.
Animal Crossing has
where,
great PS2
you know, I
era
can just go onto
online
the Discord
connectivity.
when we're
It's
figuring
true.
out which the next show we want to run is, and I can just ask like quickly, what are you guys enjoying? Like we don't have to necessarily go and do a deep dive into the analytics. We can have like a very frank conversation with very passionate people and be open that we've messed things up in the past. You know, we're not getting it right, and we are a studio that is doing this for the first time. And I think we found the community really appreciate that honesty and that openness.
So I'm curious, what were some of the kind of foundational elements?
All right,
that
friends.
the
So
team
for
wanted to
online
kind
game of the
work
year, we have
through
Animal Crossing, Call of
development
Duty
and
Black
make
Ops,
sure we're
Fall
in the
Guys, Ghost of
multiplayer
Tsushima, and
section
Tetris
and,
Effect.
you know,
Let us
so that
know
you
what
knew
you
it
think
was
is going to
gonna
win.
hopefully
Please say
make sure
Animal
it was gonna
Crossing.
find success.
Please.
Ghost
I
is
want
an
to
open
see a
world,
little reaction from a girl.
It's kind of an open world game, but it's
It's
kind of a sequential.
Call
story
of Duty
experience,
deserves
and
to
we
win.
did co-op
Like,
would have
without a
more
doubt,
gameplay
Treyarch deserves to win this
where you
award.
join and leave and
They have the best
then
online
also
experience.
Ghost is, you
It
know,
is
very
like
much
that's what
about
people know Call of
immersion
Duty
and
for,
feeling
but they
like you're part
probably
of the
won't
world.
win,
And
which
your
is sad.
friends making fart jokes on the mic.
Fatigue. Everyone's
you know,
like,
it's
yeah,
gonna
we know you've
disrupt
done it
that.
really
So
good. We
knew
can't give you an
couldn't
award
rely
every
on
year.
that. We wanted to move what we were focusing on in co-op.
I mean, they
to
could
kind of
look
more
at like
robust,
some of the
our
other awards, like
narrative
the
delivery,
Emmys, where some
how we
shows just sweep
made you
every
feel
single
immersed
year
in it
because
and
they
be
just
more
keep
robust
crushing it.
against that, 'cause we
They
knew we were
could
gonna
just
have other
keep
players in the
winning,
space at the same time.
but people love to hate on
Creativity of
Call
the
of Duty
folks in this
Studios.
room is paramount, again, as shown by the folks nominated today. And now I get a chance to give someone an award for all their hard work and the team that they have built
Wait,
up
did
to
we
make
even
all
get to
these
hear
wonderful
from
games.
Vonderhaar?
Let's see. So, our winner.
Don't tell me they cut
for the
Vonderhaar
D.I.C.E.
out.
Online Game of the Year award goes to Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Boo!
Congrats.
Just kidding. I had fun with Fall Guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, I talked a little bit about doing things that haven't been done before.
Congrats,
And we
Mediatonic.
launched the game.
You
We-
made some of the cutest
we didn't know if anybody was ever
costumes
gonna play it. Like,
on the
we
internet.
Really were worried that the servers would have.
I still hate that you make people buy them with
and
crowns.
that would be
Still
that.
mad about it. Still salty about it.
2 days into release, it was just this huge relief of pressure that I didn't really realize had built up over the 2-3 years of development. It's this huge moment of just like, oh my god, people like it, people care, and then you see it grow and you see it build into this.
Do people love to
passionate
hate? Now you're
community
just being
who,
facetious,
will,
Chester.
Furiously campaign for tail tag versus team tail tag versus the levels.
I mean,
that
Fall
they think
Guys
should be in
did
the
give
game.
us the No No song from Steimer.
It's just so lovely to have a community.
I think
that
for
cares
that,
so
it's-
passionately
we have
This is a
about
no-no
everything.
space.
And, very thankful
The
for
other song was
everyone
really
who's
fun
played it, everyone
too.
who allows us to come
The
to work every day and like solve those headaches.
The tail, other tail song.
Oh yeah.
It's the situation that I've always wanted to be in, is waking up and checking the forums.
Give
and
me
seeing
your
people saying,
tail.
Very, very thankful to everyone who's
I want to live that
voted for
furry
this and then given
life.
us a chance
Let
to
me
make
know
this
what it's like.
pretty incredible.
Oh, Steimer. Classic.
Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is definitely one of those games.
Oh, real Odin's son, welcome.
over and
Welcome to your first stream.
Myself,
I feel like we're getting ready to wrap up though. Oh no. We're closing in on game of the year.
I just keep getting mad at it again and again
That's
and
fair.
again and again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Especially when I make the same stupid mistake about 15 times in a row.
Yeah. It's the only game that I don't want to get hugs in. Don't hug me. Don't grab me. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Let me run.
Fair enough. Our second to last award is for Outstanding Achievement in Game Direction.
Now, game directors are responsible for tying together all parts of the game, from the
another potty break,
gameplay to
sorry,
the
Prince.
story
Sorry.
to the interface to the graphics.
But since they're the experts, let's hear what the nominees have to say.
You made some super awesome games in the space. Thinking about that in kind of the broader sense, how has the game development part of all this kind of changed you and it made you kind of think about it broader in game direction?
Yeah, it's the first thing that came to mind is how in my role there's this temptation as when you have this title of creative director, it's like, well, you think of these kind of visionary game creators in the industry and you feel this pressure that
Like you,
the
Greg,
ideas
you're
must-
one of
must
them
come from
now. You
But
have
over
been.
time,
Greg
I
is
felt
great, you guys.
very distinctly
He's a
my
lovely
role
person.
evolve to become that of just trying to ensure that my colleagues have kind of the most creative freedom possible to do the work that
Motley
makes them the
Raven, I
most
don't blame
excited-
you for forgetting.
excited, and then find ways to tie
I
it all
think
together.
the sad
and make
part
it feel
about
like we
Half-Life
planned it
Alex
that
is
way.
that it was so
For
restricted
us,
to
we
5.
we sort of put some stakes in the ground in the beginning of developing the game about how it was going to end in some form and some things that were going to happen in the middle, but we really tried to leave a lot of open space and leave a lot of blank spots in the story from the start in order to kind of give us space to follow our passions. And the result is that sometimes the game feels very schizophrenic. So that was really important for us to sort of learn how to
I didn't
maintain
notice that this guy just has
spontaneity
books
over
on the floor
course
in the
of,
background.
we started working on this game in the
Just a couple
summer of
books on the
2010,
floor.
So over the course of about
just
10 years,
moved. He's
how
like
to
us.
maintain spontaneity
I just need a
and
carpet and some
leave
books.
room for whatever it was that we were excited about 8 years from now or whatever to sort of like find a home in the game.
I wouldn't have really thought before I worked at Valve that our method of making games would
Those all
work out very
guitars
well. Namely that nobody has a job description or there's no division of labor and there's
They're
no hierarchy. And
most
I
of them
think
are
that
stringed
having
instruments.
a
I don't know if
game
they're all
come together
guitars.
in an atmosphere, an environment like that is always
That's
amazing. And before I worked at Valve,
I definitely
just
see
wouldn't have
3
been
guitars
certain
for
that
sure. The
we
rest
could
is a
pull
little
that
bit
off.
challenging.
And worked
Oh wait, no, there's
during
like a
Half-Life
is that a
1
guitar
and
case or is that like a
worked,
ukulele case?
Again,
It's
on
small.
Half-Life Alex, we were, it just was
Can't see.
Was it
really
you
an
that
honor
wanted
to
to
be a
learn to play
part
the
of
ukulele?
the team. I'm here
It was me,
representing the team's
and I
direction,
abandoned that
but,
very quickly.
It really was a kind of equivalent effort across
sounded
the
good.
entire group.
The
Playing
core
string
element
instruments
that
is
makes
hard.
the game happen
You have to like
is
practice all the
passion
time.
of the people around you that are all so invested in putting their creativity into making it work. And one of the things that's just changed tremendously for us, going from Rocket Robot on Wheels all the way up to Ghost, is that as the scale of the team gets bigger and the scope of the game gets bigger,
I think this is going to
more
be
than
between
ever,
Hades and
providing,
Tilu. Yeah.
a sense of unified vision for what it is that everybody's working on becomes absolutely paramount, so that those passions all pull in the same direction.
The big work environment change that I
Nice,
experienced over the
Boomer.
course of this game
I
was
appreciate your
involving people that you wouldn't
resourcefulness.
involve in normal game development, reaching out to cultural consultants, mannerisms coaches, and dialect coaches, and script reviewers from Japan, and just really adding a whole new category of people that help make your game was such an evolving thing for us.
I would say like The Last of Us Part 2, for me, in like thinking about it on this high level, it's like a magic trick of empathy that we're trying to get you to experience. Like we want to do this whole game
That's
as a way of
interesting
making
that
you
he called it a magic trick of
understand
empathy.
why someone would do something that on the surface is very,
Well,
very,
I don't
very
feel like
bad.
you achieved
And
it
To me,
because
Last
I
of Us
did
Part
not
2 is
have
that
empathy for
taken
Abby.
to
I know a lot
a
of other
macro
people
scale of, like,
did.
an entire
I was one of
15-hour
those people.
experience.
I actually
And I
liked
think
Abby
the
more than
thing
Ellie
that I
at
was
the
really
end.
excited about coming to the
That's why I love this
sequel
game.
is like,
You
okay,
have
let's
to listen
take
to our
all of
spoiler
that
cast,
stuff
friends. You should.
and
It's one of our
either
best episodes of
recontextualize
2020.
it or take it to another level. Now that we have this foundation, like how can we jump off of that and basically find new permutations, new ways of displaying these things, new content.
For this year, our winner for outstanding
Tilu.
achievement in game direction goes to Hades.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Honestly, with the amount of awards that Hades has won, they have now gone from Dark Horse to frontrunner for GOTY.
It's unbelievably humbling.
But sometimes,
among
just
this
like at the
group.
Oscars, you'll
this
get
group includes,
games or movies that win
my
all the
personal
other individual categories, and then
games
out
of
of
the
the blue,
year.
some
So
random
it's just
pick
all the more
wins
reason,
for
you know, I played your games and I'm
like movie of the year.
I'm in awe of them. So part of this is very surreal
good
for
for
me.
Hades.
But I really as mentioned, I really owe this to the team, my longtime colleagues, all 7 of us who were there from the Bastion days. We're all still together, and the direction, such as it is at Supergiant, in some respects, I think we've done a lot
RDR2 did not win
than-
everything
than,
else, Nano.
Some of you folks, because
Now I'm
our
gonna
team is
pull.
small,
Now I'm
and I
gonna
think strictly
pull
speaking,
up these
direction
fucking
is easier
awards.
with fewer people.
You're talking about the
But,
DICE Awards, or are you
we've
talking about
found
Game
Our
Awards?
ability to keep the team together and work past our kind of individual idiosyncrasies and be able to find these concepts that resonate personally with each of us and have the trust in each of us to kind of do our best work and seek inspiration from whenever we poke our heads up from our individual work, we get inspired by the work that goes on around us. That's certainly helped a lot to get to this point.
You must be talking about the Game Awards because Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year that year.
In me to do what I get to do because it's the kind of job that I never would have gotten had I just applied for it. It took a couple of friends trusting me. So so thank you so much for
the big one
for thinking of our game for this. It's an incredible honor.
Congratulations again, Hades. And guys, we've come to the big one, Game of the Year. And like we were saying, Jess, Hades, Last of Us, Ghost, they're all in the running. Everything's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. What are you gonna? Before you scroll ahead on your script, who are you gonna guess?
Ooh.
This is tough.
I'm gonna say Hades this time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hades too.
Khalif?
Kai, you know.
I know.
You
I
did the
can't-
panel, didn't you?
I know.
Ooh,
I
this
know.
is really hard.
Oh,
Well
you
then.
know? Oh, that's right. You know. Oh.
Everyone at home just has to look at my eyes.
There's not one like I would feel super comfortable putting my.
There's any blinks in there.
Game of the Year represents everything a game can be. Good to play, good to look at, and all around captivating.
That's enough from us. Let's finally hear from the developers of the nominees for Game of the Year.
All that
Starting with
Jews,
Final
I'm with
Fantasy
you. If
VII
Hades doesn't
Remake,
win after
Hitase-san,
taking
as
so many
director of the
awards, I'll be
original Final
surprised
Fantasy
as well.
VII, how do you feel the remake both honors and moves forward the game's legacy?
I loved this game, but there's no shot it wins Game of the Year.
原作はやっぱりゲームプレイのバトルシーンがターンベース、コマンドベースの作品だった。
A Dawn Stands Alone. Give it
今のゲーム
to.
シーン
Wouldn't that be the biggest upset? Oh my god, even I would be mad if Animal Crossing won.
やっぱり原作好きな人
Yeah, I
は
think
こう
we
ゆ
can
っくり
safely
と
say
戦略
Animal
的な遊び
Crossing
だ
and
し
Final
今の
Fantasy VII
若い世代
Remake
にはアクションで
won't win this
遊びたい。その
award.
2つの融
So
合
we're
さ
down
せ
to
ることが
Ghost,
非常にいい
Tsushima,
ゲーム
Hades,
で、まあ
and
それが
Tilo
うま
too.
く
I don't know, Britt. Fucking Untitled Goose Game won last year.
Oh, girl,
curious
you're
about,
right.
you know,
You're fucking. Yeah, you're
Early
right.
access
You're,
was a big
ooh.
part of the development of the game, and
Fuck.
a lot of folks kind of came to
little
it.
wrench and shit.
That was a huge part of the kind of lore of the game itself, kind of being out in the world.
I
did
feel
releasing
like
the
yeah,
game in
I
chunks
feel like
kind
it's
of
between
present
Hades and Tilo too.
challenges?
I feel like this would be
kind of
a historical upset if Tilo doesn't win, because I think every year that Naughty Dog has been nominated for Game of the Year, they've won.
TV show or something like that, where we would be.
She says without having factual evidence.
That we really had to stick the landing on the.
Hey, at least you
I would
admit
need
it.
to definitely look that up.
It would all come together.
You know what? At least you called yourself out before anyone else did.
For 6 years.
I had to call myself out because somebody else was gonna.
Did you kind of
That's
learn
okay.
throughout
Yeah,
the
Raul
years
says
of
Hades
development?
and Untitled Goose
What do you
Game are
kinda
both
hope
indies.
to
DICE
bring
loves
forward
that
into
underdog
future
win.
projects?
Yeah, it's interesting. The first couple years, I think we really only knew that we wanted to do.
Okay, so it sounds like most people are all about the Hades life here in chat.
That were in that space because I think in the end, you know,
I feel like if this was any other award show, it'd go to Tilo.
To really understand where.
But because it's the D.I.C.E Awards, I feel like
you know,
it could go to Hades very easily.
Yeah.
Hey, in New Horizons,
Okay.
folks were allowed
Putting
to
my
express
invisible
themselves in new
$1,000
and
bet
creative
down
ways.
on Hades.
How important was it for each player to feel like their island was uniquely their own?
I mean, I think you've hit on really the central.
That is such a generic question. Come on, Khalif. You
not only
didn't
make a
ask.
unique space
That's not a
for
Khalif
yourself,
question. That's a question
but
some
make
one
a
of the
unique space that
producers
maybe you wanna show
picked
to
for
other
you,
people.
right?
And certainly,
How
I
important
think
was it
the
for
biggest
every
step
player's
for
island to
people
feel
is
like
for
their own?
people
That's the whole point of
really
the
decorate
game.
the outdoors. I mean, you have, of course, your house, which you're putting the right wallpaper up. You're sort of setting the right rugs in the right places. But once you step outside and you can just create this.
Thanks for the fact check, everybody, about Uncharted 4. What won that year?
Overwatch.
Just the level of creativity.
Mm.
Don't stand alone.
Incredible.
And Neil, I want to throw it to you about the space
here
in
we
which
go.
kind of Last of Us 2
I
kind
stand
of
corrected,
laid
everybody.
you're in this post-apocalyptic world.
Oh my
still
gosh,
with all these
Sapphire
moments
Diamond
of
Ruby, me too.
moral
Just let me
ambiguity.
put things
How did you kind of
outside.
keep
Why not?
players invested in the world and its characters.
How important was Bing Maps to the whole creative process?
Haunting experience.
Yeah, I guess you're.
See,
You're
these are the
talking
questions
to
we need answers
some
to.
of the darker subject matter that exists in our world, and I think that's part of the game that we're making. So we have to lean into that and double down on those things and
You
own
rubbished a new game,
the
Druckmann.
kind of message
Oh,
and genre that
boy.
we're in,
Oh,
but then
boy,
find the
she's
right
getting
balance with
Dog Dad
more lighthearted
Jenkins
moments,
coming
or character
with the
moments, or
anger.
just mechanics that keep you engaged. So we keep asking ourselves the question: is like, okay, how can we immerse you in the world, pull you into the story, into the narrative, into the relationship of the characters, create interesting mysteries for you to kind of keep you engaged intellectually, as well as keeping you engaged like mechanically.
We're at the best part of our conversation where I have the honor of announcing the 24th Annual D.I.C.E
I
Awards
said
Game
Hades.
of
Andrea,
the Year.
what's your bet?
Hades is my
And the
pick
winner
too.
of the Game of the Year is Hades. Nicely
Yes,
done.
there it is. Congrats,
Congrats.
Supergiant Games.
Well, thank you so much for everybody who picked Hades as Game of the Year, and on behalf of our entire team that worked on it. We just want to express our gratitude to our families who supported us, our players in early access.
They're just such a lovely team of people. And it's been like the same crew there like since the beginning. They've obviously expanded and added more people, but they're still a relatively small team, particularly compared to literally every other team that they're nominated against.
Really meaningful and important games at a time when I think a lot of us were like really relying on them. So thanks to everybody. I really appreciate it.
It was Hades.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Supergiant Games. Holy shit, great job. That's
Congrats.
awesome. Yeah,
Congrats,
exactly.
congrats.
Man, I
And
should
that's
have
it.
put money on that.
I was looking into Ka's eyes and you didn't give it away. Poker
Nope.
face. I
Poker
appreciate
face.
that. And that's the show, guys. Thank you, Ka, Jess, and obviously everybody at D.I.C.E for having us back. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll all see you next year. It's going to be super fun.
Can't wait.
Aww.
And that's the show.
How lovely. I already forgot all the winners except for Game of the Year, but that's okay. That's why we'll have a recap on the What's the Games podcast that comes out every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific.
Just say that Hades won everything.
Hades won everything. Don't fact check us.
Hades, Ghost of Tsushima. Ori got shut out. I don't think Ori and the Will o' the Wisp won a single award, which was a bummer.
Ghost did really good.
Ghost did well. Better than I thought they were going to do. I actually was surprised how many awards Tilo 2 didn't get.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like in the Game Awards and the other like consumer voted award shows, those games obviously kind of sweep. But in these more peer voted award show, you tend to see more love to the indies and different choices. And I love that. I think that's important. So good job, peers.
Yes. What did you think,
good.
Britt, about the round table format?
I appreciate what they were going for there. I think it's cool to kind of get some insight and some like developer info on like what the goal of whatever they did to get them nominated. But it went a little too long, and I think you and I were just kind of having fun shooting the shit and keeping it relaxed, which was great. But I think trying to watch something like that in a live setting would never work. So I can't see how that would translate into the DICE Awards next year when we, fingers crossed, are all actually like in an audience watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think there's a way to do packages in a much shorter format to honor what the award is, to talk about like what the parameters of the award are, like what does it mean to have outstanding achievement in art direction, right? To do like a little VO package where it's like art direction means this and this and this, and you have like, you know, some fancy VO person reading it, and then you get like cuts of each of the games that's nominated. But without doing these really kind of more drawn out conversations, though, I think it's really great for them to finally put a face on a lot of these developers, because that's one of the beauties of DICE as a show from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. So DICE, by the way, stands for Design, Innovate, Create, Entertain. It's kind of like the 4 pillars of the summit that happens every year, where talks happen, roundtables happen. Britt and I co-hosted a roundtable last year, and it's a lot of opportunity for devs to network with each other. And so for mass audiences to see some of these faces, I think it was really great, because generally you only hear from the people that win. And then sometimes you don't even get to hear from them because they get handed their award in a B-roll package.
I think what might be fun and helpful too, I don't know if this is possible, I'm sure it is every year, like outstanding achievement in art direction, show like a brief glimpse of the past winners. So you kind of have an idea of like what won in the years past. Because I know for us, when we do our voting for the Game Awards, it's like the criteria, like I feel like it's probably the same every year, but you have to always remind yourself like, okay, so what does it mean to be an indie game? What does it mean for art direction or game direction? What's that criteria? And maybe getting some examples would be helpful too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It is interesting how I think that, you know, that's Molly Raven says, I think it's more because the target audience is for developers than players, right? At least traditionally. That is true. But if the Academy is going to spend money putting the awards together like they do, and are going to live stream it and, you know, pay for, you know, fancy hosts, then they clearly want more people to watch it, right? If it was just meant to be for game developers, they could make it, you know, a more private affair and not live stream it on the internet. But they don't do that. They, you know, put it all out there. So I think that there's a way to marry those two audiences together, because most developers are the same as game players. You know, they play games too, maybe not their own game. But I think that there's a way to make it, you know, more visually exciting, and to be able to make it more accessible and not jargon it up too much. And I think Khalif did an excellent job with the roundtables this year. I just think the format felt a little too like drawn out.
Yeah, this was about 2 hours. It's a little long.
Yeah.
It's a little long.
Literally double the length of the show last year.
Yeah, and now the difference is, Andrea, is we just get to go down to our living room and
it's true.
Start
working on the show notes for the podcast tonight.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long night, ladies and gentlemen, but it'll be worth it.
Indeed. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on our live watch along of the 2021 DICE Awards. We hope that you enjoyed the conversations, and be on the lookout for the podcast tomorrow morning. And we'll be back next week. I know I didn't have a gameplay stream because we were streaming for the awards this morning, but don't worry, I'll be back next week. We'll have lots of fun stuff to do. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your day. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.